Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the evening boxing talk. Know what I mean? Lower that volume a little bit. So, I was going to actually wait till later to do this, but I actually want to free up that time so I can catch up on more episodes of Walking Dead, which I'm binge watching. I also haven't caught Last of Us. A lot of people are telling me to watch it because they know that I'm a big zombie fan. LDBC's what it do? De lo mío. Yeah, a lot of people are telling me to watch Last of Us, which is based on the video game, the popular video game. So I'm going to give that a look, even though I'm binge watching Walking Dead, so I'll get around to it. Sport and what it do? Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of people are in their feelings about Rick Glacier's number, in case you guys haven't noticed, for those of you that follow Ring IQ on Twitter. A lot of people are very upset over... I love Walking Dead Sport, and I love that series, man. And there's just a lot of people. There's like this proliferation of people the last 3 or 4 days that have been very, very upset about Rick Glacier's 61,000 pay-per-view buys, so much so that the mere mention of it, if you mention it as a talking point, because not that long ago, it was the only number that was out there. It basically took them 2 weeks to come up with another figure. And like I said in my video, it just felt like it was a response to Rick Glacier's number. It just looked like it's damage control. Like, well, why did it take you guys so long to come out with this number? It doesn't take you this long to come out with other numbers. You know what I mean? But, whatever's whatever. And there's been a lot of people, what caught my attention about all of this isn't even really that people are having an adverse reaction. It's that so many of them have so much to say, but they won't come on here. Like, there was one guy yesterday, right? I went to sleep. He was still talking about the pay-per-view numbers. I went to sleep. I wake up, I got all these notifications, and I looked at the timestamp, and I was like, yo, this dude was still talking about this dude pay-per-view numbers at 3 a.m? Fam, you ain't gonna go to sleep? They're in tank protection mode. It looks that way, bro. It really looks that way. Like, they really in their feelings about them numbers. And I think what they're really angry about is that 200,000 pay-per-view buys is not really the year mark of a big box office draw. It never was. You have to remember that this is the American market. There are approximately 330-something million people in this country. And 225,000, just in a market that size, that's not that big. I would say that 300, 350, that's more the benchmark of a big box office draw, that no matter what, you're good for those numbers. We saw Floyd Mayweather do numbers like that opposite the ring Andre Berto. Sporting, you could click the link, bro. We saw Floyd do those numbers opposite the ring Andre Berto. We saw Canelo do those numbers with Liam Smith and Arislandi Lara and Alfredo Angulo. He did those numbers. Those numbers are more the year mark of a box office draw, 300, 330, than 225. 225, that's nothing really. Sporting, what it do, man?
What it do? How are you?
Wait, real quickly, bro. I just want to say I don't understand it. Like, these guys would take a bullet for Tank the way they dick ride him on Twitter. Yo, Tank doesn't even know them, bro.
Yo, bro, Ellie, yo, Michael, you literally look just like my nephew. I'm not even kidding, bro. You literally look just like my nephew, like on guard. I was about to, Kara, I was like, you look just like him. But what we're gonna talk about today is, I guess, the backlash of Rick Glacier's number, and not just Rick Glacier's number, because I also use the boxing scene number too, and how basically what these guys seem to be mad about is me saying that that 225,000, that's not a great number either. That's not the benchmark for a big box office draw in America.
Can I just say? I'm sorry, bro. I don't want to be a hater, although I don't like Tank and his career, but that number is fake as fuck. No way 225,000 people pay for that fight. And also, it's literally reported that, like, nobody has a name on the article that reported that PV.
No, listen. I'll play devil's advocate because even if I play devil's advocate and I go with that number, it still allows me to drive the point home that, you know what, forget Rick's number, forget the 61,000. I'm going to go with the 225. That's still not a big number. And you've been on pay-per-view 5 times. That's the 5th time you've been on pay-per-view, and the number's not moving. It's always just at or around 200,000. And 200,000 pay-per-view buys is not the year mark of a big box office draw, especially if you've been on pay-per-view 5 times.
Have you noticed that PBC fans are becoming more and more of pocket watchers than boxing fans? They're worried about how much this fight sells and shit like that. Oh my God, Tank sold 5 million at the gate. Okay, look, well, what about the pay-per-view number?
Look, before I pass it to Sporting, because I want to get him in on this. But the thing is that, you know what they like to do? They look at raw numbers, and this is how I know that, okay, so you're not the head of your household, because you're looking at raw numbers as if there aren't people to pay. If you do a pay-per-view that brings in approximately and I'm rounding up, I'm going to be generous, I'm going to play devil's advocate, 225,000 multiplied by 75, the price point of the pay-per-view, that's roughly 16 million, right? Out of that 16 million, you think Tank is getting all of that? Are you an idiot? Are you out of your mind? You know the cable and satellite company comes right in and takes 40 to 50% of that. You know that, right? And you know that nobody is in the business of just doing pay-per-views to be doing pay-per-views. There are people to pay. You have to pay people. All those people that hold the cameras and all, you got to pay people off of that, bro. That's where the money from all of that come from. You put it in to get it back, and then some, hopefully, and then some. Hopefully you make a profit. If you're lucky, at minimum, you break even. But essentially what they like to do is they'll say, oh, well, the gate did 5, and the pay-per-view brought in 16, as if Tank is going to put that whole clump of money under his mattress.
Also, but really quickly, before I go to work, I have to go back to work, of course. But real quickly, a pay-per-view star like Tank, or as they say, a pay-per-view star like Tank, a pay-per-view star doesn't get guaranteed of 1.5 million.
Thank you.
For a nobody fighter. Canelo got guaranteed 17 million for fucking Avi Yildirim.
Bro, he got around 15 for Avni. He got around 15 for Dimitri, with 70% of the pay-per-views upside, 70% of the pay-per-view.
And a cap,
yeah, with a cap of but that's why it made money. See, if you give him a flat out 40 for that, it's very risky to do it. But if you give him 15 and you give Dimitri a couple of million, Canelo's still getting the bulk of the pay-per-view, so he's going to get the 40, but he's going to get it in a safe way. Because if you just give everybody crazy-ass guarantees, well, then the show becomes risky to put on. See what I mean? So with that, I saw the breakdown as a ballpark of 15 mil guaranteed, couple mil to Dimitri, and Canelo was supposed to get 70% of the pay-per-view. So you can see that in tandem with his sponsorships and all that stuff, he made his money. Whereas when I look at Tank, okay, well, you're being guaranteed, what, $1 million per fight? That's your guarantee? Well, that's not I'm just saying, that's not the guarantee of a big box office draw. Sporting, what do you think about it?
Well, it's very simple, isn't it? When you have Rick Glacier coming out with a number of over 60,000, which he had to go back and confirm with someone else about that, then, of course, when you don't usually hear anybody in the media usually talking about Tank Davis numbers, for some reason, that seems to have stopped over like the last 2 years, I'd say. Then we're starting to see numbers of 200 to 250,000. Maybe, not confirmed, but maybe it sounds a whole lot better than 60,000. So people are going, see, it's not 60,000, it's 250,000. I don't care, it's 250,000. That's shit.
Thank you. It's shit. And it's shit. It's not, it's like, I feel like they deliberately take what's being said out of context. They'll start talking about, oh, well, I bet the other fighters that are around these weights wish they were making that. Bro, I'm not talking about the other fighters, though. You saying that he's a star. I'm telling you that based on that, no, he's not. and you've been on pay-per-view 5 times. So if you've been on pay-per-view 5 times and the number doesn't really move much, that it's not an upward trend, it's not 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. No, it's 2. It's just different variations of 2. What that tells me is your audience isn't growing because you've been on pay-per-view, 5 times over the course of 3 years? And it's not really, the number's not changing very much fight by fight. And, what that communicates is what we always talk about, that the quality of competition needs to be better. You need to fight in fights that people want to see you in because, well, if you don't, you're going to plateau. It's going to stay there. And if you're happy staying there, which is also what I say, they're happy staying there because the pay-per-views aren't flopping. You see what I mean? They're not flopping. They're getting their money back and they're making a little bit of money because the pay-per-views don't cost much to put on to begin with. Tank's opponents, what did they guarantee Hector? $350,000 reported to the commission. What did they guarantee Isaac Cruz? $300,000 reported to the commission. These are inexpensive opponents and what are inexpensive fights to put on. So it's easier for you to break even because it's not a risky show. It's not expensive. The only high-profile guy on the whole card is Tank. So of course you're going to break even, but it's mediocre. It's not Davis versus Haney. It's not Davis versus Stevenson. It's not Davis versus Lomachenko or Lopez. You're literally not fighting the high-profile guys. You're just happy that you can make a bit of money fighting low-risk, low-cost opponents. That's what it is.
Hey, Jules, how much of this do you think is down to American boxing fans have had enough of the amount of pay-per-views that are coming out of the PBC? Because them guys have gone overboard over the last 2 years. So many pay-per-views, it's ridiculous that now people are going, why am I paying $80 almost every month?
Literally, yeah.
That are subpar when I can get a fight stick for $50.
No, you hit the nail on the head. There's 3 things working against pay-per-view, not exclusive to the Gervonta Davis conversation, but there are 3 things working against them. Piracy is one, which we often talk about. Oversaturation of the market, which you just mentioned, that's 2. The PBC and Showtime, they want to put a pay-per-view on almost every other month. Benavidez versus Plant, pay-per-view. Spence versus Thurman, pay-per-view. Wilder versus Ruiz, pay-per-view. Davis versus Hector Garcia, pay-per-view. Then Davis versus Ryan Garcia, another pay-per-view. That's 5 pay-per-views on top of what you're already paying to see boxing, what you're already paying for your cable or your cable and satellite subscription, or just your Showtime, because a lot of Americans are cutting the cord. And that's 5 pay-per-views from one outfit in the first 2 quarters of the year, not even counting whatever else is coming. So that's really making people like, nah, fam, like, I'm not going to give y'all that. The only reason I buy shit is because I can flip it. As a content creator, well, I can flip the pay-per-view. I'll watch it live, get my money back, and make money just for watching it live. But not everybody's doing that, obviously. So it does deter customers. They're like, nah, everybody not going to pay you that every month. And then what about quality control? The quality of the fight? Like, there's something to be said about that, look, Davis versus Hector Garcia is not a box office fight. Davis versus Ryan Garcia is a box office fight, but not Davis versus Mario Barrios, not Davis versus Hector Garcia. You should have put that on regular Showtime, because we get fights like that, or fights that are better than that, via their competitors. Talked about this in the last live that I did, that you want to charge people $75 to $80 for Benavidez versus Plant. And I look at that and say, well, what makes this fight better than Bivol versus Ramirez? What makes this fight better than Better B versus Yard? What? What specifically? What's happening in this fight that is so much better than those fights that it is substantially more expensive? What?
You made a hell of a point there, because I had some guy trying to argue with me saying that the PBC put on better shows, better that DAZN put on. Like, but you have DAZN for a whole year for $100.
Exactly.
It's over 1 pay for that on the PBC.
There's not a logical argument behind it, because usually what they resort to is xenophobia. Or they just, it just boils down to preference. Oh, I don't really like those guys. Hey, listen, that's amazing. I'm not high on David. He doesn't fight that often, and when he fights, it's not against anybody I want to see. Whereas with Dimitri Bivol, I saw him fight Jean Pascal. I saw him fight Joe Smith Jr. I saw him fight Craig Richards. I saw him fight Canelo Alvarez. I saw him fight Zurdo Ramirez. You're telling me that you're more excited about David, who barely fights, and when he does fight, it's against absolutely no one. You're more excited about him than Dimitri. Look, more power to you. I'm just telling you, most people don't want to pay $80 to see Benavidez versus Plant. And most people won't. They're not going to pay. They're going to steal it. I, as a content creator, am more likely to buy that fight just because I can make money from it. But the average consumer in America, specific to the boxing fan, they don't want to pay for that. They're not asking for that. You should have did that in 2019, bro, when they had belts, when they was both unbeaten. You wait till the guy gets knocked out. Oh, now it's a pay-per-view? It's ridiculous, bro. And I've just been getting, let me let Unbiased in on the conversation. Unbiased, what do you think about it?
It's the over maturing of fights, man. Unfortunately, in this era, they are over marinating fights, you know, and like this Plant Benavidez is three years late. And I said it when we talked before. It would be great if they put it all on one card, but they don't have any real vision. It's just really penny pinching, and they're just really cheating fans overall in boxing. But that's what we have to deal with right now. You were right. I mean, 5 pay-per-view cards literally in the first quarter and a half. I mean, Plant and Benavidez is not a pay-per-view fight. It's not.
It's a co-main, bro. To me, if I look at that fight, you know what I see? I see a co-main. That's a good co-main.
That's a really good co-main. Yep, I agree with you. But I mean, I'm not going to pay $80 for it. I'm not. I'll pay for Ryan and Tank, and then the whole thing about Tank. I like Tank a lot in the ring, but I'm not gonna cape for him, even though it don't make no difference anyway, because he's getting paid regardless. But I'm not gonna cape for fake numbers, man. I mean, I was looking at it and researching it, and I was going at it with Ness, and everybody says, "Hey, listen." You can like somebody and be actually objective about certain things. You don't have to go with 100% of what your favorite fighter or favorite whatever is. I mean, the common sense is really lacking a lot now, and I think that's why they're getting away with doing what they're doing, because they've been pulling the wool over the fans' eyes, and we're too dumb to see it.
I'll say this. The funniest thing that I see in association with Tank is they like to call the criticisms hate, as if we're asking Gervonta to do something that Devin is not already doing. You know that he could have got George in the ring before Devin? He literally could. Lou DiBella wanted to put George in the ring with Gervonta first. Before Loma came into it, and before Devin followed him, Lou DiBella wanted to put George in the ring with Gervonta. In his words, he said he felt that was the bigger fight. Gervonta chose, he said he don't care about his belts. It's a video of Gervonta Davis in a SUV. He says he don't care about George's belts. You see what I mean? And when we criticize him, or I'll take responsibility. When I criticize him, you could have fought George, and you didn't. Why? Because you can't pay George the way you pay Isaac Cruz. He's a unified Ring Magazine and lineal champion. You got to pay to play, and you don't want to do that. You want to keep fighting these guys that don't cost no money in these fights that most people don't care about. 225,000 people is not a lot of people. I'm sorry. That's not a lot of people.
I don't even believe that's a real number, man. And the thing is, Tank is conditioned that way, and it's unfortunate that he's thinking that way. But he's conditioned that way. They have conditioned a lot of the fighters to think that way, and it's really counterproductive. And when you say the sport of boxing, the word "sport" is effectively taking the word "sport" out of it. I mean, you turn it into WWE entertainment.
That's what it is. Let me pass it to Steve Munoz. Steve, what do you think about it?
my biggest thing and the reason why, can you hear me? You got me good?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
My biggest knock on it is with the PBC fanboys is that, like, I don't know if you remember, but when Rayfield first reported Canelo's pay-per-view buys, the 550 number, a lot of them they preached it, and they're like, no, 550,000, he's losing his touch, and they were just talking shit. But then once Eddie Hearn came out with the numbers and the Zone came out with their numbers, they said that was a lie. So now we flipped the roles. Rick Glacier reports 61,000, whatever the case may be. And they're like, nah, that's not true. That ain't accurate. That's the first number. They wait for a better number to come out. There's no consistency with it. It's very biased. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. I agree with you. And the funniest thing is, I said this when the Zone came out with that number, that this is different from any other time a number gets reported, because the actual platform is telling you this is what it did. That's called a press release. They have to stand by that number, and that number has to be accurate, which is why you don't see Showtime say, okay, this is what it did. You know, this is what the number that we got. They don't do official press releases. When we hear about a number from Showtime, it's usually sources. It's usually somebody heard. I talked to a guy. It don't be Showtime themselves telling you, yeah, yo, this is what it did, right? That's what made that press release different. And I think it went over a lot of people's heads that you can't compare rumors and gossips to an official press release. So if these people are telling you that the pay-per-view did $1 million, that's because it did $1 million, which is not hard to believe because he did 800,000 with Caleb Plant. So it's not really complicated. If he could do 8 with John B., then he could surely do better than that with Golovkin, who more people are familiar with. It's common sense. But that's what's going on in boxing right now, a sheer lack of common sense. I'm going to let Willie in on it. Willie, go ahead.
Okay, so can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. This is what I think about the whole situation in a nutshell, and everybody here can feel free to disagree with me. But when Rick Glacier put out the numbers, I straight up asked him, did Tank lose money? And he emphatically said, yes, he lost money. So when this new number, 200,000, 225,000 drops, and all these people jump, and they're all like celebrating, it's like, dude, the man still lost money. It's all just a cult of personality surrounding a mediocre boxer who can't even, you know, his last 3 pay-per-views haven't even touched Tim Bradley versus Manny Pacquiao.
Exactly. People forget that. People keep going.
And, you know, I really saw through the facade when I seen Nestor from the Boxing Voice be like, oh, I don't like Rick Glacier because he doesn't ever say anything nice about Deontay Wilder. And I don't got to be Sherlock Holmes to remember the night that he got threatened by Wilder fans and that video he put out dissing Wilder. So why all of a sudden do you care about the man now? Like, you could just see that this is all just whoever pulling rank on these reporters to put out good news that they want.
Because the media is for sale, bro. A lot
really
of them
is.
are for sale. That's the truth of it.
And if you're really a fan of boxing and not a fan of these personalities surrounding these boxers, how many people knew that there was a Showtime card tonight?
Honest to God, I didn't even know, bro. I'm gonna catch up on Walking Dead, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't even kidding. That's why I did the live early, because I'm like, you know what? I want to watch my Walking Dead later, so I'm gonna get it out the way now. And I'm just gonna say this though. I like to play devil's advocate whenever there's more than one figure. I've been doing it for years. That, okay, I'll just go with the high number. I'll go with the high number to prove a point. 225,000 buys in America ain't shit. If Canelo did them same numbers, it wouldn't be a success now, would it? Nah, you wouldn't say, oh yeah, that's some successful shit. And we're rating Gervonta against Canelo. We're not rating him against guys that haven't been on pay-per-view. We're rating him against the guys that have been on pay-per-view. And in that realm, you're not that big a draw. It's not complicated. Motherfuckers start talking about with Shakur, with this, with that. You talking about everybody but the box office draws. There are only 3 or 4 fighters in America that have been on the box office. Canelo, Wilder, Gervonta, Errol, and Crawford. And among them, Javante ain't second or third. He
Hey.
ain't second or third.
Hey, Jules,
Oh, go ahead.
Can I point something out real quick?
Go ahead.
This is the difference between a cult following and somebody who's actually achieved something in boxing. Shakur started at 126, correct?
Yep.
He became a champion. He moved up, became a champion, and now he's at 135. Now, you look at Gervonta Tank Davis. He was a champion at 130, correct?
Correct.
So he's only held one belt, and supposedly he's king of 3 divisions, 130, 135, 140. But yet, you know, you got people claiming that Shakur would lose to this guy. That's how you know it's just a cult of personality. They don't base anything on what a man has achieved in the ring. It's all about, oh, well, you know, I like this guy for such and such reason other than the boxing.
And my thing is, I try to say this as often as possible, that you can be a fan of him if you want. That's really not my problem. But these guys come to me with this stuff. You see what I mean? Like, you can see it on Twitter that they come to me with this stuff. I don't care if you like Tank. I don't care if you buy every single one of his fights. That's none of my business. I don't care. But when they see me say something, oh, they want to get involved. Well, if we're going to be honest, out of the people that have been on pay-per-view in America, you're talking about Canelo, who's number one. Wilder is second because he put up the second most buys in the last 5 years, 800,000 with Tyson Fury. Then Errol would be a distant third because he put up approximately 360 buys with Mikey Garcia. Then I would put Gervonta Davis. He would rank in at about four because we know he sells more than Crawford. So you're clearly not the biggest draw or the second biggest or even the third biggest draw in America. 225,000 buys does not make you a star.
Hey, Julius, I was going to add, I always thought it was kind of crazy, but hear me out. When it comes to Tank, I think he's been on pay-per-view 5 times.
4 or
5 times. Every single time he's been on pay-per-view, the number's been right around 225,000. And what a miracle that all of a sudden boxing scene says, oh yeah, he did about 225. Like when Wilder fell off, and I don't know, I can't remember what other pay-per-view guys have fallen off, but other fighters have fallen off significantly from what they've been doing. They report Tank, no, 225 again. I think Leo was 225. His last opponent was right around there, 225. He had no drop off. Even though he had this pending fucking court case and he was arrested and in jail. Like, you're telling me that's not affecting people's travel plans, going to the fight, buying the pay-per-view. I didn't think he was going to fight, to be real.
Well, I'll say that could be 2 things, 2 to 3 things. It could be that they're lying, but you don't have to go with that. You don't have to go with that straight away. It could also be that you're essentially drawing from the same people. Every time you get out there, you're drawing from the same people, and that number isn't growing. Because 5 times, for you to have been on pay-per-view 5 times, that's quite a lot. That's a bit. That's a bit. And we're not really seeing growth. You're not going from 2 to 3 to 350 to 4. No, it's always 2. It's always 2. So that could be that you're drawing from the same people. It's the same pool of people every single time. Or it could be that they're lying and they're just ballparking it based on how your other pay-per-views have performed. Neither would surprise me. But one thing is clear. If I play devil's advocate and I endorse, okay, 225, let's go with it. I'm going with it. That means that your audience isn't growing. That's what that means. They've put you out there 5 times and you're still putting up the same shit. 200. Go ahead.
It's very simple, Jules, is that Al Heyman is playing these guys, in my opinion, because you tell all these guys like Spence, yeah, you're your own promoter. You're a pay-per-view fighter. Oh, I am? I've made it. I'm a huge star. I'm a pay-per-view fighter. Not realizing that they're paying you pay-per-view because they don't want to give you your value. They don't give you no proper guarantee.
Can I contribute something?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like it's not the first time that Showtime has been like caught fibbing about the numbers. Like, if you remember, Dana White promised to never work with them again because they were lying about the Mayweather McGregor numbers. And even all the way back in 2014, Espinoza said, yeah, we're not going to release pay-per-view numbers anymore unless they're record numbers, because he knows that it was during like when everyone was like being skeptical about Floyd's pay-per-view numbers because they know that it hurts the product later on.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows that if they do reveal the actual numbers, it's going to hurt Tank rather than help him.
Oh yeah, because it's all about keeping up appearances. You know, I mean, like it's all about it's leverage tactics. It's keeping up appearances, and it's like, listen, man. Even if I go with what's out there and I completely disavow the 61,000 from Glacier, since when is 225,000 buys the benchmark for a big box office draw? Since when? Canelo is literally out here doing more than that, 2 times that much with a Bond villain. That's the year mark of a pay-per-view star. He fought Bivol. Do Americans know Bivol? No. Do a lot of did he have a huge following going into that fight? No. And Canelo, off his name, was still able to put up 500,000 buys. That is a box office draw. Now, if I compare Canelo to Gervonta, where was Canelo at 28 years old? At 28 years old, he had already sold 2 million pay-per-view buys with Floyd Mayweather. He had already sold 300,000 buys with Angulo, 300 buys with Liam Smith, and 300,000 buys with Erislan De Lara. He sold 900,000 buys with Miguel Cotto, 1 million buys with Chavez. That is a draw. That is a box office star. And that's what Canelo did by age 28. What is Gervonta doing at age 28?
Have you ever heard, Jules, have you ever thought that with Canelo, people who turn up to the arenas, the stadiums to watch Canelo are turning up to watch Canelo?
Yes.
Well, I'm hearing like a lot of these Tank fans saying how, Madonna's turning up, Justin Bieber's turning up. Okay, are they turning up to see Tank, or is Al Heyman calling in favors due to his music contacts?
Thank you. Because you expect me to believe that a 50-year-old Madonna gives a flying fuck about boxing? All right. I'll go with it. It does nothing for the buy rate. And after 5 separate attempts, what I see, which is noticeable, is your audience is not growing. The saving grace, I guess, is that the Ryan Garcia fight is supposed to be next, and Ryan will bring his audience to it so that it can do something, you know what I mean? Because what I see is, look, if they keep you fighting the guys that you've been fighting, you ain't ever going to crack 300,000 bars. You're not fighting them guys. You need the Devin Haney's, you need the Teofimo Lopez's, the Shakur Stevensons, the Vasyl Lomachenkos of the world to really have a fight that has energy, because your fights have no energy. The closest you ever came to being in a fight that had energy was the Romero fight. And that's sad, because the only reason it had energy is because he's a retard. That's it.
He's all crazy. Yeah.
It's not because people really think he going to do this and that. They've seen him. They know what he looked like. They know how he fight. Then ain't nobody really thinking nothing. It's just that he's a retard and he's funny at press conferences, so it did a little something. And that was the only time you was in a fight that had any kind of energy. Now, I'm not going to tell you that Gervonta can't draw nothing. At the gate, he seems to be okay. He's fought in different cities in America, and I guess he's sold out, or quote-unquote sold out. He can sell tickets, but just imagine if he were in there with somebody. Put him in there with somebody. Then maybe you do that 400,000, that 500,000, that 600,000. Put him in there with somebody. Because what I see is what? Y'all think it's all on Ryan? What he going to do after Ryan? If he go in there and he smoke Ryan, what then?
Can I ask you something, Jules?
Yeah.
Tell me, why did it take from Pedraza at the IBF champion all the way to Ryan for him to fight somebody of actual note?
Honestly.
But is Ryan of actual note, though? Is Ryan of actual note, though?
That's the other thing, that the real value, the real point of fighting Ryan Garcia is his marquee value, not his accolades. I mean, let's be honest, like beating Ryan at lightweight in the sporting sense of the word, which is what they often get away from when it comes to Gervonta Davis. Beating Ryan is not better than beating Devin. In what way? What the fuck?
There's no way it is.
There's no way. Like, bro, Devin is undisputed Ring Magazine lineal champion. How is beating Ryan on par with that?
Most experts aren't even giving Ryan a chance. That's why the fight got made.
Can I intervene?
That's why we're getting that fight, and we're not getting Tank versus Devin.
I'm so happy that Sporting Icon said that, because I've seen on Twitter and from Ryan about this whole the belts, they don't really matter. And their fans like started to try to echo that. They're like, yeah, he's right. At the end of the day, it matters, the quality of guys that you're facing. And I thought about that for a second. I said, okay, Ryan, let's do all let's all ask the entire panel a question here. And everybody in the comments is free to answer this now too. Between 35 and 40, how many champions or guys who are about to get a title does Gervonta Davis beat comfortably?
None.
None. He got a fight on his hands with all of them.
I mean, y'all know how I feel. I think Shakur would school him. I would give Devin very good odds to win a points decision because he doesn't. The fighters that Gervonta fights, they're all flawed, bruh. Hector Garcia at best is a super featherweight, and he's a decent super featherweight, but he ain't fucking Devin Haney. And it's ridiculous that anybody could pretend that those kind of victories are on par with beating Shakur or beating Devin or beating Loma. Even Ryan. The real value of Ryan is the marquee value. But has he beaten Lomachenko's and Devin Haney's and Shakur Stevenson's at 135? No. The best guy you beat was Luke Campbell. That's it. He hasn't
even beaten the Georges, to be honest, of the world.
Honestly, Luke Campbell's better than
Selby. He hasn't beat the Lee Selbys of the world.
Honestly, Luke Campbell's would probably be Tank's best win, to be honest.
At 135, he would.
Yeah, easily.
So I'm like they wanted to be a more perverse version of boxing because they're living vicariously through the fighter. So they look at the purse amount for a Ryan Garcia fight or the profile of the fight, and they'll pretend that beating Ryan is more of a statement than beating Devin. No, it's not. In what way? Devin done fought Jojo Linares, unbeaten George Kambosos 2 times, and now he about to fight Loma. If he beat Loma, how the fuck is beating Ryan the same as that?
It's not.
Jules, we are too old school. If you look at today's era over like the last year or two, the fanatical fans of those who follow Misfits, KSI, Jake Paul, is beyond level of the Deontay Wilder fans and the Tank fans. This is the era that we're getting into. We're too old school to handle it, I think.
I mean, not necessarily, because we make up the portion of the boxing community that actually pays. And that's what I always come back to, that those kids that you see on Twitter, they're not buying that shit. We are. If Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. would have fought, everybody on this fucking panel would have bought that shit. Not them bozos on Twitter. We would have bought that shit. Same way I fucking bought Crawford and Avanesian, and Charlo versus Rosario, and Spence versus Porter, and Spence versus Ugas, and Fury versus White. We the ones that buy that shit.
That's true. That's true.
The truth. It's the truth.
So what does Tank have to do then to become the superstar that they proclaim him to be?
Fight the people that's the challenge.
Yeah, but would a win over Ryan Garcia?
It's a start.
It's a start. Before I pass it to Unbiased, because I do agree it's a start, what people tend to forget is that even if the promoters and managers and fighters themselves don't view the sport as a sport, they just view it as a business. We still look at it as a sport. And you need our money. We don't need you. You need our money. So you need to present me with something semblant of a sport. So if you put on a shitty fight, well, I'm not fucking buying it. It's that simple. Now, if you want to make Gervonta Davis a draw, you need to bite the bullet and get Devin in the ring. It's that simple. It's that simple.
Put it this way, right? You got Tank Davis, this big superstar, doing 250,000 pay-per-view buys, allegedly. But yet people say that nobody knows Dillian White. But yet here in the UK, where we are, a fifth of your population, Dillian White fought Oscar Rivas, 400,000.
Mm-hmm.
I know the price point's different, but still.
Well, I look at the paying customers, that if you can get 400,000 people to buy your fight, it's very good. That's a very good number, and we know that the price point is different in the United Kingdom, though all the same, that shows that he does have an audience. Fucking KSI sold damn near 500,000 in the United Kingdom. that shows that people are paying attention. Whereas in America, okay, the price point is approximately 4 times as much as it is in the UK. So if you want me to buy it, it better be good. And I haven't bought a Gervonta Davis fight yet. It's not because I don't buy fights. I buy fights, but I'm not buying that bullshit.
Is this the last year for PBC in boxing?
Say it again?
I did a video and I got criticised because I said that this year could be the last year for the PBC in boxing.
Possibly.
Yeah, if I can touch on 2 things you guys are talking about. If you want boxing to continue to thrive, their fan base does need to get younger because it is older. Like a lot of the paying customers in boxing right now, they're older and they're being outpaced by mixed martial arts because their fans are a lot younger. And a way to fix that is to make more competitive fights. Like you can't put garbage on pay-per-view for $75 and there's no intrigue there. Like the WWE still sells pay-per-views because even though that shit is fixed, there's still a sense of intrigue and interest that goes into those outcomes. Like not everyone knows what's going to happen. Whereas a Tank fight is literally the entire business model is putting him in and having him do a bag drill for 12 rounds until he knocks someone out.
Basically.
So and if you have a big enough gate, you can justify the losses on pay-per-view. But over time, I feel like that's not a sustainable way to make money. So you're gonna have to put him in there with competitive fights at some point because people aren't gonna keep buying this shit.
It seems like they're putting all their eggs in one basket with the Ryan Garcia fight. It kind of feels that way because supposing you do the fight and supposing you win the fight, how do you keep that up? What other fights can you have that can bring you a similar reaction or a similar response? And you know what? They're not Frank Martin fights. They're not Rolly Romero rematches. They're not Isaac Cruz rematches. People want to see you in there with Devin and Shakur.
It's like Wilder. Like, okay, after the Fury fights, his numbers tanked because people don't want to see that shit. They got a taste of a competitive fight, and they want to see that again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he needed a light touch to get back in. So I don't blame him for taking a light touch. But the thing is, to expect any real numbers from that would be asinine.
Right,
And,
but that's the thing. No more light touches on pay-per-view.
But let me ask,
let
me ask you a question, Unbiased. If they would have gave that one away to the fans, like, look, Wilder's back. We want to give him a nice homecoming, nice rebound fight. If they would have put that on Showtime, regular Showtime, you think it would have done a million views? Because I think
it would have did a lot. It definitely would have came close. It would at least been 800 to 850 at worst because it would have did his numbers because you're putting respect on your fan base. And I don't know what's wrong with these guys. They're not taking advantage of I think PBC completely screwed up the deal with Fox. They got to be able to have these avenues for TV, so they can be able to put enough free fights on to be able to garner name recognition for your up and coming fights appropriately. Mm-hmm. And then also giving value to your consumer base. So when you do have the pay-per-views in the piracy era, they're going to feel respected by you because you've given them enough fights and given them enough value where they'll pay the money to go to watch the higher quality fights.
If you would have did Ruiz versus Ortiz on regular Fox, and we know that the deal went bad, that basically Fox didn't want to give him any money anymore. That's my understanding in a nutshell, right? Bang. So they put it on pay-per-view. That was the only way they could do the fight. But in a nutshell, just imagine that you did Ruiz versus Ortiz on regular Fox and you did Helenius versus Wilder on regular Showtime. If you could have done that, well, that's better for the consumer because then it builds it up for them. It gets more eyes on those fights. When you put Ruiz versus Ortiz behind a paywall, well, not a lot of people are going to see that fight. Not a lot of people are going to be talking about it. Same with Wilder shit. You put his shit behind a paywall, everybody know he going to kill over Robert Helenius, but let 1 million people see that so that 1 million people are talking about it because everybody knows what's about to happen. That dude gonna get knocked out. Everybody know that. But if it's on a platform that is more accessible to the consumer, well, then maybe you'll have people say, okay, now I'm ready for that Wilder versus Ruiz fight. But what you're doing is you're gouging the fans. Every other month or every month, it's a pay-per-view. Like I said, 5 pay-per-views in the first 2 quarters of the year. Benavidez versus Plant, Spence versus Thurman. Davis versus Garcia. Next it'll be Ryan Garcia. That's 4. And Wilder versus Ruiz. That's 5. That's a lot of fucking pay-per-views from one outfit.
Yeah, and it's also just good business. It's like, okay, you stood with us for 3 fights. Here, have this free fight.
You're absolutely right, though, Jules, because you put the nail on the head there. If you can get like enough people to watch them on regular Showtime, regular Fox, such as a lot of these people who run around Twitter claim to be Tank fans, how many of these people have to ask their parents for the money for the pay-per-view?
Exactly.
You get the parents to watch these guys for free. Maybe they may want to watch the pay-per-view themselves.
And that's the way that it was done in the past. I believe that that's how Top Rank and even Queensberry to a degree, because they're doing really like they just announced Joe Joyce versus Zhilei Zhang. I fucking love that fight. Yeah. I love it.
Phenomenal fight.
It's a great fight, and I kind of like what they're doing with Joe. That I'm excited about Joe's career. Y'all know I don't got the stomach for Fury, but I'm excited about Joe. You see what I mean? With Top Rank, I'm excited about the young guys that they got and what they're going to move into. But it seems like PBC's whole thing is just, straight to pay-per-view. No, dog, you're not in a place where every time you get out there, somebody going to feel like paying $80. Like, nah, fam. I don't give a fuck about Keith Thurman. Are you joking? That man done fought once in 3 years. What the fuck has he given me to be excited about?
Have they put Shakur on pay-per-view yet?
No.
Nope.
There you go. That's how you build a fighter. That's how you build a fighter.
Do you think it might be just the payment too? Like the fact that the PBC guys have gotten so much money, it's hard to put them on regular television? Because if you look at Shakur, he doesn't actually, besides the $3 million he was about to get, he didn't actually get paid that much. Even for the Valdez fight, I think he got maybe like $1.5 million?
No, I disagree. I remember I read in 2020 during the shutdown, because I think he fought at least once. He got like close to $1 million for that fight. I believe it was like 700,000.
Who?
One fight. Yeah.
But what did the guy get? What, like probably $2? Was it Carballo?
Yeah. I think it was
you can give him $1 million. I don't care. That's fine.
But the idea is that you have to grow your audience. You have to grow a demand, and you can't do that when everything you do or a high percentage of what you do is put behind a paywall. You can't do that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, of course, I don't agree with it at all. But I think it's because they've spent so much time overpaying these guys that it's like, I heard what Wilder got for the Helenius fight. Maybe he said, I heard like 20 mil. But I'm going to just chop that down and say maybe it was like 12. But even then, that's too much.
I mean, look, the main thing is that his audience isn't growing. And they don't like when I say that, or they don't like when I say that that's not the year mark of a big box office draw in a market this size. There's 330-something million people here. You're not a big draw doing those numbers. Like, no way. And I understand that, there's not a lot of guys that do those numbers, but that's the point I'm making. You're not a big draw. Canelo's a big draw. You're not a big draw.
But that makes it even worse, because your only competition is one guy that isn't even from here. And you can't inspire the people of this country to buy your fights. That's because they're garbage. It's not a good product.
Basically, it's not complicated. If Tank, as much as I dislike him and Leonard Ellerby, if you told me tomorrow that Tank is gonna fight Devin Haney, I'm buying that shit. Are you crazy? Are you fucking nuts? Of course I'm buying that shit. If it's Shakur, I'm buying that shit. If it's Lopez, I'm buying that shit. If he would have bit the bullet and fought Josh Taylor back when Josh was still undisputed, you think I wouldn't have bought that fucking fight? Of course I would have bought that fucking fight. Of course. But you trying to sell me some bullshit on the premise, and this is the sales pitch, that he can get this kind of money fighting nobody. That's what they like to tell you. That, look, he doing this, and he not even fighting nobody. Well, that shit don't really make me want to buy that shit, though. You see what I mean? You're not going to get no new customers if that's...
It's a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face.
You know what's crazy, though? You could even make an argument that you could make it a high-profile event in Australia if you were to fight Kambosos, because he has enough marquee value in both. You know what I mean?
No, you're not wrong. And just the act of Gervonta Davis traveling for the fight makes it an occasion. You see what I mean? The fact that you're not playing it safe. Like, look, this morning I was sent screenshots of pictures of Inouye and Fulton in the paper over there in Japan. They're excited about that fight, dog. That's what you want. You know what I mean? That's the atmosphere that the American boxing scene is missing. A lot of these kids are just happy to see their favorite fighter winning, but not really growing the sport. Whereas Inoue, he's growing the sport in his country.
There's no intrigue. There's nothing to look forward to. It's just going to be Tank versus a nondescript fighter who he's going to knock out.
Random Dominican guy. He could have fought anybody in Washington Heights. They got about the same number of fans as Hector Garcia.
Hey, Jay, I got a question real quick. If hypothetically Canelo were to fight Ryder in England, how many fans do you think he'd put in that stadium?
20,000.
Defending the undisputed crown, like you don't think it'd be big? And
20,000 at the O2 Arena. I think they could sell out the O2 with that fight.
That vibe would be sick, man. UK fans are fucking down. I like UK fans.
Well, I love their boxing scene because it still has a hierarchy. The domestic, the white collar level, the domestic level, the contender level, the world level. I mean, that's kind of that's what I see that they still have that we don't have. That they off top want us to believe that the guy that they're pushing is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then he has a performance like the one that Boots had with Chukatsian. Like, you didn't look like the greatest thing since sliced bread to me, bro. You know what I mean?
And that modern, like, British boxing scene, you can thank Matchroom for shaping that over the past decade.
Let me read the super chats. Fan fight, Jeff Mayweather versus Ryan Garcia at 135. I'll go Jeff. Michael Buffer says, the more I think about it, the more I believe Ruiz beats Wilder. I don't think Wilder wants it. They're going to dodge it. Ruiz going to hit him to the temple, shot, and watch. I mean, we'll see, because in terms of box office fights for Deontay Wilder that are in-house fights, that's the only one he can have. If you think about it, that's the only high-profile fight that the PBC can make internally that has a profile. Now, if Wilder, and I talked about this 2 lives ago, if he's willing to expand his horizons, go to the UK and fight Dillian White, you can make money with that. But no guarantee that Wilder wants to do that.
What if he fights Ngannou? Now that
would be a big fight. That would be a very big fight.
Let me ask you this, Jules. If he does end up fighting Ruiz, would the Mexican fans come out for Ruiz?
I believe so. I believe that Wilder versus Ruiz could do 300 to 350.
I
think it could. It's a heavyweight fight. It's different. And Ruiz, I think he would have the support of the people for that one. Between him and Wilder, maybe 300, maybe 350.
Put that in LA. They sell that thing out. I think Ruiz Ortiz did 9,000, 10,000 tickets sold roughly. You put Wilder out there with him, they'll sell that shit out.
Yeah.
What about the era? Well, I'm thinking of the Areola fight, like when he fought him, he got knocked down, but the Ruiz was pretty decent, I would say.
What you have to remember about the Areola fight was we were still coming out of the pandemic. It wasn't a spicy fight in any capacity. It wasn't a spicy fight. Wilder versus Ruiz is a spicy fight. You just don't want to overshoot it. If you want to make money, don't guarantee these guys anything crazy, because the upside will be what pays them. But I think that they could do 300 to 350,000 buys with that fight. I think they could. Not 500,000, but yeah, 353. Yeah.
And the reason I wanted to succeed is because everybody seems to forget Andy Ruiz Jr. was once a unified champion at heavyweight. Like, this guy isn't just some joker from down the street. This guy was actually, at one time he was a champion.
So, look, I wouldn't mind if Andy won the fight. I wouldn't mind if he lost the fight. But the main thing is that the way that they operate is bad for the sport. It's bad for the sport. Your fighter, Wilder, has options that who's doing all that? Your fighter Wilder, like, if it's up to me, Wilder fights Dillian White. If it's up to me, why? Wilder versus White in the UK gets more of a reception than Wilder versus Ruiz would in America.
Facts, and it's a crossroads fight.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. And you know what? It's actually a safer fight if we think in the PBC way, because I don't think Dillian White has a chance. I think Dillian White is a top fighter.
But there's another interesting narrative in that Dillian White is probably the hardest puncher in the division after him, if you really think about it.
I'm just saying that in terms of, all right, what do you want for Wilder? You want a winnable fight that gets him some money. What do you want for Dillian? You want a high-profile fight that gets you some money. You know that you're not on the level of Fury. You know you're not on the level of Usyk. You know you're not on the level of Joshua. You know these things. But the most that you can get out of it is the opportunity to continue to fight in big fights. Well, Wilder versus White would be a very big fight in the UK, and I don't have a doubt in my mind that you could probably sell out a stadium with that joint. Just because he's coming to the UK.
How do you think that fight goes?
I don't even know, man.
Wilder knockout, fifth round.
I mean, the thing is that Wilder's best punches are his straight punches. So what you then have to ask yourself is, can Dillian White get under or around the shots? Because he uses a cross guard now. This is how he defends. You know what I mean? He doesn't use a conventional high guard. He uses a cross guard. I could see Wilder taking him out.
I do, but also you can't count out Dylan's left hook, man. That left hook is one of the biggest punches in that division.
But now you see what sells the fight, right? That there's a way for either guy to win. There's genuine intrigue. There's genuine atmosphere. Imagine a press conference where they just get to talk and they just get to say they shit. Imagine. The thing is that, like, look at the press conference for Wilder versus Hellenius, right? What press conference?
That's his man in real life. Like, they're actually friends in real life.
But he cried when he went to his room and stuff.
It's more like, is he the same guy that he was? Does he have the energy to talk shit anymore and really sell the fight? I wonder. I'm not saying that he doesn't, but does he have the energy to get out there and talk his shit and really sell a fight? And at 38 years old, I don't know.
Dylan's gonna talk shit regardless.
Yeah, if you get the right person, he probably will find.
Dylan will talk shit regardless.
Then Dillian will have to be the one that sells it. But I do think commercially that's a great fight, and I think that Shelly Finkel would be a fool not to explore it. Like, bro, what are you gonna go back to Showtime and fight Ruiz to accomplish what, though? Like, I get it that there's another side to that coin too, that if you can go in there and stop Ruiz, who has never been stopped. He's been in there with Carlo. He's been in there with Joseph Parker. He's been in there with Luis Ortiz. He's been in there with Anthony Joshua 2 times. He's never been stopped. Can you be the one that does it? There's value in that. There's value, but I really don't think you're going to make the same money with Ruiz that you could make with Dillian in the UK. And I think Shelly Finkel really would be a fool.
You're right, Jules. I think that's why the fight hasn't been made between, be honest with you, with Ruiz and Wilder. I think that's why it hasn't been made, because they think they know it's a pretty good fight and it'll make some money, but you can tell that the energy won't be as high as you want it to be. And considering Wilder said, "Hey, I only got a couple years left. I want nothing but some big fights." I don't think he feel like it's big enough.
Yeah, and also that fight will probably have to be on Matchroom.
Yeah. But you got to bite the bullet.
That's what I'm saying. Either way, he's going to have to take an L, because either way, if he wants the AJ fight, you're going to go over there. You have to fight on his platform, and you're going to get your ass whooped. Yeah, so you might as well just go fight Dylan first.
You got to bite the bullet. Like what is the point in staying loyal to Showtime when you see what the market in America is right now? Like, Showtime is not the powerhouse that it used to be. Pay-per-views aren't selling in the same abundance that they used to. The market for boxing is actually shrinking a little bit, you know what I mean? Well, not a little bit, it's shrinking by a lot. What's the point? Go to Matchroom. Fight Dillian. You'll make money.
They can't pull another Brazil fiasco either, because they're broke. So you might as well just go over.
You go to Matchroom, you don't have to worry about what the fucking pay-per-view does. They'll guarantee you the cash. You don't have to worry about none of that. They might fucking fly you out to Saudi Arabia or some crazy shit. Who even fucking knows? But the time for catering to a platform for what is a 38-year-old former champion who had 2 systematic ass whoopings, the time for that is over, bro. Go fight Dillian.
And Jules, let me play devil's advocate here and pretend that they're not incompetent idiots over there, and they actually might have had this thought cross their mind to send their boy over to Great Britain. There's a reason why they haven't done that. Right now, like, that is a huge money fight, and like I'm just saying, like, if it did cross their mind, why aren't they taking the bet? Why aren't they taking the bag, man? What are you here in boxing for if you're not here to make money?
Like, honestly, Wilder himself said in the article where he talked about This was ahead of the Robert Helenius fight. He said that boxing is a business. Boxing is a business. Okay, if boxing is a business, go fight Dillian White. He'll take the fight. If it's a business, right? If you don't care about belts no more and world title eliminators no more, you have better options if you actually go that route. You have way better options than just fighting Andy Ruiz, which I don't even think that's a bad fight either. I like that fight. I would buy that fight. But I'm just telling you, that ain't going to have the same atmosphere as going to the UK and fighting Dillian White.
On Matchroom.
While you wait.
Also, fighting Dillian White probably sets up the Joshua fight much better too.
Why you think I'm saying that?
It probably builds up the Joshua fight much more.
That's what I'm saying.
If Dillian wins, then okay, we still have Joshua White too.
That's we know that Anthony Joshua is not about to fight Wilder right away, right? So if you're Wilder, you looking around like, okay, so what should I do while I wait for this guy? You know what I could do? I could go to Matchroom and fight Dillian. I'll knock his ass out, and then I'll go straight into that Joshua fight. Easy peasy. You know what I mean? Whereas you fight Ruiz, that's a WBC eliminator. Okay, you're still fighting in eliminators? You really? You still trying to get a belt? We all know you're not trying to get a belt. So you really going to fight him for what? Like, I would like to see it just to see if he can knock out Ruiz. Don't get me wrong. I would buy it. But I know that shit ain't going to have the same atmosphere over here that fight will have over there. That should be an event over there.
If you're going to fight a common opponent, it might as well be Dillian. And he probably has more fans in the UK anyway.
He don't like Eddie. It's his ego. Wilder will not. Yeah, I see that it's like a rift. And I'm like, maybe that's what's held him back all these years. But I feel like White, in terms of the bread, is actually a better option. It's a better option.
How do you guys think AJ versus Wilder goes? And if it does happen, would it be good in Africa?
I'll tell you the truth, right? A couple of years ago, I would have told you AJ confidently. But because he's between trainers and he going through his spiritual shit, I don't know what's up with old boy. Like, you about to hire a new trainer again. I don't know where you at. Like, I don't even know what you're going to look like your next fight. So before I could really tell you anything, I need to see how he look. The other thing is that people count him out too easy. Motherfuckers really acting like Usyk knocked him out. Usyk decisioned him, all right? And he actually did better in the second fight than he did in the first. All the same, he's only ever been knocked out once. Wilder's the one who's been knocked out twice. But it's just weird how people digest this stuff, that you do realize that not only has Wilder been knocked out more times than AJ, he's been knocked down more times than AJ. And I'm not just talking about the Fury fights. Harold Sconares knocked him down, damn near knocked him out. That fat dude in that club fight knocked him down. That ain't some new shit, Wilder getting knocked down. And it's weird how people process that. They think they're like, yeah, AJ's the chinny one. Bro, you the one that been knocked out 2 times, bro.
You know what's so crazy, Jules? I actually have that sentiment that you're saying. The fact that you're saying that to me, it made my eyeballs go up a little bit. Like, damn, I'm guilty of that to some degree. I'm thinking that, but you know what? I feel like this is how I feel. AJ's best shot may not put Wilder out. Wilder's best shot will put AJ out.
I'll say, all right. I will agree. I feel like this. AJ has to land more than one punch to take him out. It won't be
punches.
It won't be one punch, and I feel like AJ would TKO him, whereas Wilder could smoke him.
Yep. See, but that's the thing, though. Like, that analysis applies to any fight with Wilder. Like, his best shot will put anyone down, of course. But as soon as AJ makes him fight going backwards, the fight is over. Because AJ's going to stalk him and put him away.
Like, AJ is being underestimated. Like, this is one of the dynamics of that fight that really makes me want to see it, though. AJ's best punches is his straight punches, right? That's his best punches. His jab, when he can get the jab out, when he can get the right hand out. That's his best punches. But you don't want that with Wilder, because if you can get out your straight punches, that means he could get out his straight punches. You want to be close to him. You want to be close to him where he don't have room to get that hand out. And I don't know that AJ's going to go about it that way. That you do got to put him on his back foot. You do got to get in there and pressure him and beat him up from the inside out. If you trying to jab him from the outside, you know he can let that right hand go because you giving him enough room to throw it. You got to crowd him. That's what Fury did.
Then
Get under the right hand,
for that reason.
crowd him,
I'm saying
mess him up.
the Seek can destroy AJ of like when he was with Tony Sims. He wins that fight easily, in my opinion. Easily.
Yeah, but he's not that. He may not be that guy anymore.
He may not, but who's more battle tested? Who's proven more against the better opponents?
Fair enough.
To me, it's easy. Like to me, like I get it because Wilder hit so hard and AJ's been hurt before. Like to me, it's clear who will win that fight. As soon as Wilder has to backpedal, the fight is over.
I think we're adding so much of the intrigue now is that both of them. I mean, Wilder got his light touch to build his confidence back, and now AJ's about to get his. Both of their confidences has been shooken to some degree, and I think that adds to the intrigue to their fight, even though it should have happened when they were undefeated. But just calling it for what it is now, both of them losing some of that luster and being on the same plane does add intrigue to see who will overcome more.
I was more confident 2018, and I was more confident 2018 and before the Ruiz fight. And it's like I don't think of it how other people think of it because it's the heavyweight division. They tend to think like I remember they used to call Lennox Lewis chinny, and bro, that dude wasn't chinny. It's just these is heavyweights. My perspective changed over time because I remember way back when after the McCall fight, they was calling Lennox Lewis chinny. After the Vladimir fought Corey Saunders, they was calling Vladimir chinny, and when I look back on that, I'm like, nah, it's not even that they was chinny. This is the heavyweight division, bro. Motherfucker hit you one time, that's it, bro.
But in perspective, like the people who've hurt Joshua have been Reeves, Dillian White, and Klitschko. Literally 3 monumental punchers. The guy who stopped Wilder twice is historically a guy who was never known for his power.
Exactly.
So, like, what are we talking about here?
Jules, what was the punch that put AJ down from Vladimir Klitschko?
The right hand, the straight right hand.
Is Wilder Vladimir Klitschko?
No.
That's where I get off saying that, AJ has more of a shot against Wilder, in my opinion. I actually pick AJ to beat Wilder because consistently throughout his career, AJ has shown that not only does he improve, but he adapts. When he makes a mistake, he learns from it.
I get that, but 1, the heavyweight division is a cruel mistress. 2, there's something that I saw in the Usyk fights that I didn't really like. He's not committing to his shots. Like, if you're going to take Wilder out, if the goal is we're not going 12, I'm here to take him out, you need to be an animal. You need to be a monster. He was a monster before that Ruiz. Like, he's a fucking monster, bro. What he did to Brazil, monster. What he did to Eric Molina, monster. The uppercut that he hit White with, monster. The fucking uppercut he hit Klitschko with. That was like watching 2 superheroes fight. Amazing shit. And he need to get back to that because you can't have step with this guy. You can't have step now. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not because I don't have a high opinion of Wilder, but you don't want to find out if that right hand is the real thing. You don't.
Agree.
My question is, he said Vladimir Wilder is no Vladimir. Who really punches harder though?
I'll be real.
Vladimir dropped him in sparring.
Look, Vladimir has more knockouts than he has fights. If we're gonna do that, it's 53 knockouts. And those are not 53 knockouts over cream puffs. Vladimir literally took on all comers. The only guy that he probably wouldn't fight is his brother. See what I mean? So Vladimir's 53. All I'm saying is Vladimir's 53 knockouts mean more to me than Wilder's knockouts. Yeah, you knock guys out and it be violent, but who are they? Who are they?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say was look at the level of competition. Remove Tyson Fury from Wilder's resume. Who has he knocked out? Please, somebody.
Not even.
The only person he knocked out is Ortiz, who is, overinflated, but he's a good fighter, but he's overinflated.
I'm with you. Overinflated, but he is a good fighter. I'm with you. And I'm saying that the Povetkin that Vladimir fought, this is not cat. That Povetkin beats Wilder. I'm not playing. That style is all wrong for Wilder. All wrong. Real quick? Short, stumpy fighter, lower center of gravity, slips the jab, moves side to side. His best punch is the left hook or the uppercut. Wilder don't have nothing for that. And he never fought nobody like that.
And every time that he had the opportunity, like Pulev, he pulled out.
So it'll go similar to David Price, except he wouldn't knock down Povetkin.
Say it again, bro.
It would go similar to the fight with David Price and Povetkin.
Yeah, like if In other words, let's say that Povetkin that fought Vladimir all those years ago. Let's swap out Vladimir, throw Wilder in there. Does Wilder win that fight? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He gets knocked out. And I look at Vlad and I'm like, well, you've been fighting people like this. You've been fighting people like this. Like Vladimir fighting top contenders and guys that can fight back. That was regular. That was regular. We could say that the era was boring. We could say that the jab and grab was bored. We could say all that shit. But it's not a contest who fought better fighters in their career. Vlad. And beat better fighters in their career. Vlad, we can't bring up Fury for Wilder because you didn't beat Fury. Fury beat you. So he out of there. So who else you fought? Luis Ortiz? And who did he fight? Latif Coyote on Nandrolone.
Bryant Jennings.
Bryant Jennings.
And if you really want to be cynical about it, Vladimir Klitschko has lost a better competition than Wilder has fought. Like, who did he fight?
Corey Corey Saunders that beat Vlad would beat Wilder.
100%.
That dude, you know that I don't think Corey was ever even knocked out.
Yeah, he was.
Who knocked him out?
Vitaly.
No, he didn't. Went to a decision.
Vitaly Klitschko knocked him out, I swear. Corey Saunders.
I don't know about that. Let me see.
Eddie Chambers would give Wilder a boxing lesson.
And Hasim Rahman had to knock him out.
Oh, Eddie Chambers was nice.
Bro, Eddie Chambers would, if he was like the size of the modern heavyweights, he'd probably win a title.
Fucking Corey Saunders is a Capricorn. Son of a bitch.
No, he got knocked out 4 times, all 4 losses.
Yeah, he did get knocked out 4 times. My fault. I was bugging. But still, he would fuck with Wilder. He still would have beat Wilder, though. But, shit, yo. I'm like, what?
Even Peter Samuels, I think.
Yeah, Peterson. Yeah. And the American boxing scene is so weird because it's such a mind fuck that I know that in people's minds, they probably think of AJ as having been knocked out more times than Wilder, when in reality, no, Wilder been knocked out and knocked down more times than they realize. But they think of AJ as being the fragile one. And that's
what it is?
Crazy.
I just admitted to it, but you corrected me.
Not because they think Fury's God right now. So they're like, all right, Wilder got his ass whooped by him. It's okay. And it's like, nah, not really. Not that badly. You can lose.
Can we all be honest and have a proper prediction between Ali and Fury? The Ali before he went to war?
Well, you talking about Cassius Clay?
Yes, sir.
My God. Listen.
Bro, we're thinking about
that. Listen, don't nobody say nothing. My God, if Tyson Fury needed a gift over John McDermott, Cassius would whoop his motherfucking ass. Seriously, like the fact that there's people out there that really, fam, I see them, like that guy Simon Jordan on Talk Sport, all that dick eating. I'm like, fam, you know damn good and well he got a gift over John McDermott. What the fuck make you think Ali can't beat him? You crazy? If you needed a gift for John McDermott, what would Ali do to you? What would Liston do to you? What would Holmes do to you? What would Tyson do to you? Because John McDermott ain't no motherfucking all-time great.
Let's say what would Ernie Chambers do?
To be an all-time great in your opinion?
Say it again.
What would he have to prove to you to be an all-time great?
Well, look, unfortunately, I think that he has a legitimate claim to be there, but I don't think highly of him. I think he does have a legitimate claim after he retires to be thought of as an all-time great because he is a 2-time heavyweight champion, and that's a shorter list than people realize. A lot of times, guy loses the heavyweight title, he don't get it back. It's a very short list of people. So between that, being 2-time champion and 2-time lineal, he has a claim, but it's a very weak claim. Like, I wouldn't put him up there with Joe Louis. You know what I mean? I wouldn't put him up there with Larry Holmes and them guys. And it's weird that, yeah, you beat Vlad, but you're not the same caliber of champion as Vlad. Vlad had 19 title defenses. How many do you have? I think he has 3?
Yeah.
It's weird that, yeah, you beat him, but context is key. As much as they like to say that, oh, AJ fought an old Vlad, well, so did you. He was in his late 30s when you fought him. Well, no young man. You act like you fought him when he was 25. It was towards the tail end of his career. So it's weird that, yeah, he beat him, but can I rank him the same as I would rank Vlad? Vlad was a long reigning 2-time heavyweight champion himself. 19 title defenses. The only dudes that had more defenses than Vlad is Larry Holmes and Joe Louis.
Yep.
You gotta put him high. So Fury, I don't know. Like, I feel like maybe he's a top 15 or top 20. Cause I don't see him as being of the same ilk as them guys. I really don't. Like, nah, you two stop and start. Your reign, you beat Vlad, then you got the mental butt hurt, and you go away for 2 years. And you win the title from Wilder, and then you defend it against Wilder, Dillian White, and Derek Chisora. Those are your title defenses. Is that all-time great shit?
Nah, hearing that back is kind of bad.
Well, I'm saying that, like, remember, he gets the title from Wilder in February of 2020. He defends the title against Wilder the following year. That's his first title defense of a title, not the lineal bullshit. You actually had a belt and you defended it. All right, so the first one is Wilder, the second one is White, and the third one was Chisora. Is that, like, really, fam?
Is that yeah, I don't know about all that.
I just don't know if that's an all-time great joint. That's what it's complicated. Yeah. It's complicated.
So I'm guessing you're picking Usyk in the fight between the two.
I mean, when I look at Usyk, I just see it as being more complex than people give it credit for, because for all his size, he done been sat down on his back pocket by guys that was no bigger than Usyk. Never mind Wilder. Nevin Pajcik sat you down. Steve Cunningham sat you down. You know what I mean? They sat you down, bro, like they really did, on your back pocket. Never mind Wilder. He wasn't the only guy that ever dropped you. And like I said, didn't this guy get a gift over John McDermott? So I'm supposed to think he just going to walk through Usyk.
Yeah, and about all that. Another thing, see, because I still lean towards Fury, but another thing that I realize is that he was getting dropped when he was more of a defensive fighter, and now he's more offensive. Like, he does have that Detroit style. He takes more risks now, and he gets hit more. So I don't know how that's gonna play out now.
Yeah, that because the guy that he steamrolled, everybody talks about how Fury's stepping into his jab and being more aggressive now, right? But he only did that with Wilder. Yeah, that's not how he fought Dillian White. No. That's literally not how he fought Dillian White. He was moving lateral and he was on his back foot with Dillian. With Derek, I don't even count that shit because that was a sparring session, bro. That's a sparring session, bro. Like, I wasn't a fight.
Do you think Fury's losing his legs a little bit?
That's what I hear, and I haven't. Let me put it this way: he was able to maneuver against Dillian, so they're not completely gone. Sporting usually, I've heard Sporting say that before. I don't know where he went. He was up here, but I wouldn't rule it out because look at how he built. He real top heavy, but he got skinny ass legs. That gotta be hard on them shits, man. Like, most of the weight that he has is in his trunk. It's not distributed evenly like on a LeBron or somebody like that. That it's even across the body. Most of the weight on him is belly.
He's got that half-empty toothpaste body.
Yeah. Like
no, but you know what? That's crazy because he said that when he got dropped by Wilder, that he rolled his ankle in that fight. Like, his leg was fucked in that fight. In the last fight,
that, bro. Dude, that big ain't supposed to fall down, bro. He not built to fall down, bro.
Yeah, the bigger they are, man. Come on now.
For real.
The bigger they are, the more they are prone to break. Look at LeBron James and how many times he's gotten hurt. Look at Wilder.
LeBron James, he's a Capricorn. I just had to put that.
He looks that.
I just had to put that in there, bro. I just had to tell you.
I'm guessing you're a Capricorn as well.
You know what I'm saying? We out here. But it's some real shit. Like, a dude that big, really, when you fall down, you really fall down. Like, it ain't nothing if Chocolatito fall down because he little as shit. You know what I'm saying? You already mad close to the ground. But when a 6'8", 200 and change, 270 something, when you fall down, oh my God.
You shake the room for real.
For real, be like, so he ain't built for that. So what I see, Usyk has advantages. It's not that he doesn't have advantages. He definitely has advantages. Have I decided to go with him? Not yet, but I am leaning towards him because I think he's mentally stronger than Fury. All that I'm gonna talk shit and I'm gonna get that shit don't work, fam. Usyk is a Capricorn, like I said. And he's a Capricorn, And that bullshit ain't gonna work, bro. He looking at you like a job. You just a job to do. All that shit you was talking to Wilder, all that shit you was talking to Vlad, that motherfucker don't care about none of that shit. And the guys, the way you beat up Wilder, which was it was smart. It's not that it wasn't smart, but that I don't really think that'll work against this guy. He fights on the balls of his feet the whole 12 rounds. Wilder is flat-footed. He don't fight on the balls of his feet. He don't know how to move lateral or backwards, or at least in that fight he didn't. So it's a different set of challenges with this guy.
Mm-hmm. No.
How do you catch a little motherfucker that can move around the ring all night? How do you do that? How do you get him?
He has Ali's build too. Ali was moving around at the same way. He's the same height. I swear Ali was a cruiserweight champion at the time. At a time in his career.
Yeah, because in those days, like if you look at the weights, there was I think there's at least a few fights where Ali didn't weigh 200 or he was just at 200. He was very slim. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the era before that, before the Liston era, the Rocky Marciano era, which we talked about, some of them guys would be like heavyweights today. Some of them would be cruiserweights. Some of them would be like bridgerweights. Like they wasn't really that big. So,
hey, Jules, can I point something out real quick? Joe Louis knocked out Primo Carnera. Joe Louis was around 6'1", 6'2", if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he was.
He was around 190 pounds to Primo Carnera's 267.
Bro, fucking Max Baer. Y'all watched that. That wasn't a boxing match. That was just an ass whooping. That was just Max Baer beating the shit out of him, bro. Literally, it was just Max Baer fucking him up and down that ring.
Bro, let's be honest. It was not an ass whooping. It was a public execution. I've never seen somebody just cut, chase, and run in the middle of a
bar fight. It was not a bar. And Primo was literally a giant. Max wasn't but 6'1", 6'2", but he was just whooping his ass like he wasn't shit. Let me read these super chats. Michael Buffer says AJ has fought more power punches than Wilder has. I agree, he has. I agree. Hyam says, "What up, Jules in the panel? I want to talk Joyce versus Zhang. What we betting? Get in here, motherfucker. About to shoot you this motherfucking link."
I got Zhang.
Who you got in that fight? Oh,
Joyce.
Zhang.
I got Joyce.
See, I lean towards Joyce, but I think Zhang is gonna introduce a lot of interesting problems.
Once Joe closes, listen, no. Once Joe closes the gap when he's mid-range, Zhang is gonna be in trouble.
If Zhang is not Anthony Davis in the ring and he's healthy, I think he can do it.
Mm-mm.
Bro, he starts countering over that orthodox.
We're reading too much into that fucking Hrgovic fight, and I already see that. We're reading way too much into that, bro. Zhang didn't look impressive until that fight.
That's Ronnie Shields Hrgovic too.
I'm looking at Joyce and how easily he gets hit, man. If he gets hit by that right hand, he's in trouble. I think.
I don't know about all that.
Nah, but wait a minute. See, that's the motherfucking question. That's the motherfucking question. Hyam, do you think Zhang could hurt Joyce? I'm gonna take that as a no.
Bro was on a ham radio.
You're on a police radio, man. Y'all need to stop calling the cops on me. But looking at it, what I notice is, all right, I watched that fight 2 times since it went down. And what I noticed is that Hrgovic just wasn't taking the punches good for whatever reason. And it's hard for me to say it's because Zhang hits that hard or something was not right with you that night.
Well, yeah, his dad died, man. That's why.
That's kind of where I'm at. But I'm like, since when does Zhang touch a guy and the guy just be ready to go? Since when?
Every other punch. I know that was a little bit weird.
That was weird, and I'm like, yo, Joe be taking punches though. Like I know he ain't fought a whole lot of punches, but Joe's not weak to the face. He's weak to the body. Zhang ain't no body puncher.
Nope.
Not no body puncher. So I'm like, nah, I got Joe.
Yeah, but I heard Joyce was him and AJ fought back in the day, and AJ knocked him out in sparring. Is that true?
I saw the sparring session. I saw a sparring session. I'm not even going to say I saw a sparring session. He was whooping him the way that he whooped Ruiz. He was whooping him long distance and on the fly. It wasn't like he was stepping into his punches and just mauling him. He was sticking them from the outside. So I could believe that maybe you walked into a right hand and got dropped because based on what I saw, that's what he was doing. He was staying on the outside, sticking him with the jab and just moving. And because Joe is so slow and don't move his head, just kept catching them jabs with his face.
AJ was looking like Felix Savon in that sparring session.
No, I saw that, bro. He moves so fast, bro. I was like, holy shit, who is this?
Yo, Joe Joyce, he makes AJ. He just make him look like like Pernell Whitaker. Like, for real.
Yeah.
For real, like if you watch that shit, it's one of those things about television that you don't really know how slow a guy is until he's next to another guy, and you don't know how fast the guy is until he's next to another guy. But if you watch that sparring session, that's more or less what you notice immediately, that look, AJ ain't motherfucking Lomachenko, but he's not slow. He's not slow. He may not be faster than Usyk, but he's not slow. Whereas Joe, he is slow. Like, yeah, your punches are slow. Look like
Why
great.
is he so? Why is he just moving in slow motion? Why
That
is
motherfucker 37, bro. That motherfucker is 37. I'm slow.
But the thing that I find ironic about him is that even though he's like, he looks very telegraphed, like the guy does backflips after every fight.
Bro,
like, he's athletic.
Him back. That right hand looked like it looked like it take his right hand 2 seconds to get through a motherfucker.
No, wait.
So I call him molasses.
It seems like I could take a lunch break and he'll just be still throwing.
I saw the Joyce fight versus Dubois fight, and I just like looked at Dubois with disappointment afterwards because I was watching that slow ass jab, bro, and I was like, Jesus Christ, you couldn't avoid that shit once.
The only the nuance to Joe, which I've heard this brought up before, that as slow as the punches, and this might be it too, that as slow as the punches might look ringside, or as slow as the punches look to us during the broadcast, in the ring, for whatever reason, the punches find a home in the ring. So they must look different in the ring than they do to us while we watching the fight, because he do hit motherfuckers. Like, as slow as he look, he land them shits.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is
it's
Ismael
probably
Salas.
like a curveball or something. Like it looks like
Maybe
it's
it's
going
like
one
pressure
way
or
and
something.
Ever since he went back to Ismael Salas, like his timing has gotten a lot better. I think his defense has gotten a lot better, even though he does get heavy now and then. But I just think that Zhang is gonna provide a good acid test for how he's gonna do against the top guys, because he's a southpaw, he's a bit awkward, and Zhang has like a little bit of hand speed too. So, and he's big. He's not like Joe Parker. He's a heavy guy.
So what we betting?
See.
If
Daniel,
I am who you got, bro.
Let's go. I'm listening to everything you're saying, and I did notice that Philip Hergovic in the fight, he was walking away from the punches, like he would get hit and then put his hands down and like walk away. That was kind of weird.
So I got a question for you. Do you think that the reason, because one, it's not like Hergovic fought anybody anyway, right? You know what I mean?
Right,
so it's like, who really hit him and who did Zhang really hit? We seen him with Jerry Forrest. He ain't look like shit, bro.
Yeah, he was half dead in that fight.
He's half dead in that fight. So when I look at Zhang, which is what makes the fight appealing, is I don't really know what you are. I don't know if it's that you really do hit that hard. I don't know. I don't have nothing to measure it against except Hergovic. And Hergovic didn't fight nobody.
I agree with you. But I also agree, and I hate to say that, but I agree with Malik Scott as well. I think your chin has an expiration date on it, and I think Joe Joyce, his time is up.
Really?
I think Zilly Zhang is going to knock him out. I'm gonna back up my crazy statement. With my $200 $200 bet. You know, I'm gonna bet it. I'm gonna go for Zilly Zhang.
Damn!
I win.
Wait. Everybody got to calm down. First, I gotta ask, what makes you feel that way?
Oh, okay, I'll tell you. I do believe that in history, even Dylan White right now. Dylan White, I believe he's got neurological damage. I believe he's pretty much shot. His punch resistance has dropped dramatically since the Povetkin knockouts and everything. And since he fought Joshua, he was stronger by the chin when he fought Joshua. And now you keep getting hit, you keep going to war, sparring, and all of that. Your chin starts to chip away. There's a little bit of damage there.
But you think Joe gonna get put out?
Yes, I think he relies on just like a power puncher. Yeah, the weight bully.
Maybe Daniel took a lot more than we thought he did.
Yeah, exactly. Certain things happen. I think Luis Ortiz took a lot out of Wilder in the first fight. I honestly believe that. So
I agree. I could see how you got there. But this is what I'm saying. I have seen no indication so far, and I'm looking, I'm paying attention. He took everything Joe had, Joe Parker. He took everything he had, and it was just like gnats and shit. Like it wasn't even shit.
You little mosquito bites,
but Zilly Zhang ain't a mosquito.
Yeah, Zhang is 6'6", 260.
Zhang is a
like,
monster.
He's almost as big as Joe Joyce. So I think that's also another interesting.
And he's a southpaw.
Do they have a fight? Yeah. Do they have a fight slated? They have a fight slated.
Yeah, bro. It's about to go down in April
15th, baby.
See, I think
I like that fight though. That's two zombies just fighting each other till someone gets knocked out.
Yes, that's
exactly how I think it'll go. I think Zhang.
That is a horror movie right there, bro.
Zhang is gonna go with some moments early on, and then Joe is just gonna close the show just like he did against Joe Parker. He's just gonna wear him out. Pause.
I don't think
in the first couple of rounds, I could see Zhang surprising people because he does come from a good amateur background. For those that don't know, he does come from a good amateur background.
Great amateur.
He does throw good straight punches, and his backhand does look heavy. Like it does look heavy when he can land it. And Joe don't really move his head, so some wild shit could happen in the beginning. But I'm like, yo, he really gonna knock him out though?
Yeah, like yo, you let Zilly Zhang.
He's gonna be countering Joe's jab a lot early on, and then I think Salas is gonna make the adjustment for Joe, and he's gonna knock him out later.
If Zhang
couldn't do it, I don't see how.
Can I point something out? Are they similar to age? Because I'm pretty sure Zhang is.
Yeah, they are.
40. Okay.
Yeah.
42,
remember, Joe looked young, but that motherfucker pushing 40, bro.
Yeah, he's 37, but he's a young 37 because he started late and he hasn't really.
Zhang don't look a day over 31.
He's 35.
Let me just say this:
I don't think Joe.
He's got the Keith Thurman hairline.
What's gonna decide this fight is who.
Now the Keith Thurman hairline.
What's gonna decide this fight is who has the more wear and tear in the heavyweight division. I don't see Zhang having more wear and tear.
Exactly.
Than Joyce.
Thank you. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
I don't think Joe Joyce is. I don't think Joe Joyce is a fresh heavyweight. Not the way he fights. Look at the way he fights. He walks into.
Yeah, but he always looked like that though.
So what is it? What is it? Joe Joyce is a 2000 Honda Accord, and Zilly Zhang's a 2008 Nissan Altima. I mean,
bro,
that
Honda Accord has jet fuel in it.
Yeah, but that's a pretty good analogy. That's a pretty good analogy.
That left hook has jet fuel in it.
That straight left that Zhang got is good.
All right, so this is what I see. What's working against Joe is he really doesn't move his fucking head. His best punch, believe it or not, is the jab. And they're against the southpaw. Okay, I could see where that'd be a problem. Your jab could get countered. I don't think you're faster than Zilly Zhang neither. His punches look snappier than Joe's. Joe's shit is just super duper slow, but if it land, it's super heavy.
And it's timing.
There's something
too.
else
I
going
think that's
against
what's
him.
gonna I think Zhang's gonna give him trouble with speed, but I think Joe's gonna start timing him. And honestly, I disagree with the panel. I don't think his defense is as bad as y'all say it is. I think recently it's actually been a lot better since he's returned training with Ismail Salas, who is from that.
I think he has something else. I think he has something else going against him, though. Joe Joyce. Another thing that he has going against him that is kind of a negative to anybody in the heavyweight division except Andy Ruiz is that he's a combination puncher.
That's true.
He's a combination. That's bad. That's bad for a fighter
so is
that
Zhang,
slow punches. No, not really.
Zhang does fight in combinations, and he's there to be timed.
Zhang
you know what I think?
I don't see him as much.
I had a question.
I think he's more of a 1-2 fighter.
I'll tell you what. For this, I could only go on instinct. In the pocket, I favor Joe. In the pocket. From the outside coming in, I'd favor Zhang. Because if he could put something on that backhand, it's heavy. We saw that in the Hrgovic fight. But then I go back to my shit. Bro, who the fuck Hrgovic fought? And who the fuck hit Hrgovic besides Zhang? I don't know if I'm reading too much into that Hrgovic fight, B.
You know what I think? I think that pressure from Joe Joyce might crack Zhang, because Zhang, if you look at the Zhang and the Philippe Hrgovic fight, it was a lot of lows, and Zhang accepted those lows. Joe gonna keep coming at him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and the other thing is, let's say this: if nothing if nothing else, this is one thing that I don't like that I saw in that fight. You hurt that dude by 3-4 times. He hurt Hrgovic irrespective of what Hrgovic is. I see you hurt him 3-4 times and you didn't finish him.
That's a problem.
Yeah, I think because Hrgovic was coming back with something, and I think he felt it, and he didn't want to take that risk.
He was on spaghetti legs for a good 30 seconds each time he got hurt.
Remember, he dropped him too. It ain't just that you dropped him and you didn't jump on him and finish him.
Also,
okay, but by that logic, remember, Zhang got hurt against Jerry Forrest. Who did Jerry Forrest get knocked out by?
But we know about the Jerry Forrest fight, though. We understand what happened.
Here's another thing. Here's another thing that is kind of bothering me. Usually, when this happens, you know what usually happens when this happens? This is a Matchroom guy, Frank Warren guy, right? Felix Cash, Denzel Bentley, John Ryder, Zach Parker, Zhilei Zhang, Joe Joyce.
Oh, come on, bro.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, quality's a little better on one side.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
Could y'all finish that fight? Could y'all finish that fight with Hrgovic and Zhang? I had to turn it off. They were too slow. It was aesthetically awful.
No, I saw.
I've seen the shit. I've seen the shit just because I wanted to keep looking at like this, what was Zhang doing, because I don't know what to make of him, because you exceeded expectations with Hrgovic. Like you looked alright for a change, but then it's like a dead end, because it's like, well, who did Hrgovic beat? And who hit Hrgovic? How I know that the reason you look that way is because it's just he ain't shit. What if it's that? Well, if he ain't shit,
going into that fight, that fight got made because everyone was avoiding Hrgovic, though. So you got to take that into account. A lot of people didn't want to fight him. I just think Zhang is just a technically solid southpaw, and he's gonna give a lot of people trouble until they put him out. Honestly,
let me tell you how he knocks out Joe.
That's what I make of it.
Let me tell you how he knocks out Joe. I can tell you exactly how he knocks out Joe by everything that y'all said. Y'all said, "Oh, Joe Joyce just keep coming. Joe Joyce is just keep coming." How many fighters have we seen just this past year that's stepping forward when the shot catches them? I think it's going to be Davis versus Rowley all over again. He gonna walk into something. He gonna literally step into it.
Joe's way more technical. Joe's is way more fundamentally sound than Rowley, though.
No, I'm not comparing that. I'm not comparing that. Listen, I'm not comparing that. What I'm saying is he's gonna be busy stepping forward. He's gonna walk into a straight left, and his body momentum stepping forward is gonna add to the punch, and he's gonna go to sleep.
But Joe's only moving forward if he's throwing the jab, though.
Nah, Joe is always moving forward, man.
He's working his jab when he does.
I know he does, but you know what I mean.
I'd like
that
to point
left is going to take him.
Sorry, put him out. I don't know, man.
Let me point this out as well. I've never seen an orthodox fighter who was 100% good against a southpaw in the pocket. They always give him problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
that's where I disagree with you too, Jules. I think Zhang is a little crafty on the inside. If you watch that Hrgovic,
I think mid-range to inside, Joe puts his punches together better, even though they look slower. But the other thing is how he throws his jab. It's almost like the jab don't have to travel far when Joe throw it. It's kind of like how Lennox used to throw it, that it's kind of already there. So it's not even a question of getting the whole hand out. He just touch you with it and touch you with it and touch you with it, and he just keep working the jab. And I'm like, yo, is Zhang even going to have time to throw punches working around that jab?
I think so. He's a good counterpuncher.
Listen,
he's a solid
Zhang has time to watch like Trapped in the Closet before Joyce lands anything. So he's going to catch him in between.
Son, I feel like we giving Zhang a little bit too much credit.
I think it's just the fact that it's unknown. I think there's so many unknowns in this fight. I think that's
Joe Joyce lives off of his jab. The jab don't work against a southpaw.
You know what I think, Julius? I think this is an actual 50-50 fight, if you want me to be completely honest.
Yeah, because nobody really thinks Zhang lost to Hrgovic. By all rights, he should be an undefeated fighter. By all rights.
Joyce has a lot of unanswered questions, too, even though I really like him. I think that's what makes this fight interesting.
Yeah, but look, all right, put it another way. If we look at the track record of the fighters so far, irrespective of the Parker fight and irrespective of the Hrgovic fight, the fighters that Joe fought were more experienced. Brian Jennings, He fought Brian
Jermaine
Jennings,
Stavern,
Christian Hammer, Bermain Stavern. He beat an unbeaten guy in Dubois, which he really whooped his fucking ass. And when I look at Zhang, yo, you went life or death with Jerry Forrest, bro. Like you went life or death with that dude, bro. And I'm supposed to think you gonna come in here and knock out Smoking Joe?
Wait, but then Joe struggled against Brian Jennings in this fight against him and Carlos Takam.
Yeah.
Those aren't really the world.
Well, what's worse though, struggling against Jennings is struggling against Forrest.
It's the same.
Yeah, you are like a high class.
Same.
If you remember, the last time Joyce really got schooled was against
Who was it? Who was it, Julio? Who was it?
Usyk in the end when they fought in the World Series of Boxing.
Yeah, I want to say that Joe was faster in them days, man. Yeah. He was faster.
But also, you got to think too that like recently Joyce hasn't really been struggling with faster fighters. I think he's found out who he is as a fighter, and I think a lot of that has to do with Ismail Salas.
Yeah, I say something?
Go ahead.
I saw Joe Joyce versus Bermain Stavern, and he had Bermain Stavern on the ropes. And he was hitting Bermain Stavern. And what Bermain Stavern did was he caught Joe Joyce's right hand. He caught it, and then he shot his left hook, and he caught Joe Joyce clean. I saw him do it numerous times in the fight, and I thought to myself, damn, this guy's lucky that's not Dylan White. Because if Dylan White land that left hook, it's over. It's good night. But everybody thinks that Joe Joyce just is untouchable. His chin is just unbreakable. I don't think that. I don't believe nobody's chin is unbreakable. Marius Wack is the only person's chin I think might be unbreakable in the heavyweight division. That's it. That's it, really. To be honest,
I don't disagree, but I don't agree with the consensus on the panel that his defense is as bad as y'all say it is.
It is because his punches are so slow. It takes him longer to get his hand back to defend himself.
White versus Otto Verleen is being explored in April. Wow. So that takes Zhang and Otto out of the AJ lottery. That's what that does.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that because if Zhang is fighting Joe, he ain't fighting AJ. If Otto fighting White, he ain't fighting AJ. So that leaves Dempsey McKean, Sean Franklin, and who else?
I think it's gonna be Franklin.
Sean Franklin?
I think it's gonna be Franklin.
I keep saying Sean. It's Jermaine Franklin. Jermaine.
I was about to say who?
Jermaine.
Yeah, I think it was
like Tito and Jermaine. Hey, Jules. What do you make of Rick?
Wait a minute. Dan Rodriguez is a Capricorn too. It all makes sense now. You damn sure do.
Bro, if both Dillian and Joyce are successful in those prospective fights, they need to fight each other.
Yeah. Yo, but that's weak sauce if he fight Jermaine Franklin. That's some wet, like on some real shit. That's some. That's like
man. He deserves to be able to have a touch fight. He has the best resume in heavyweight.
See, but listen, I think Jermaine Franklin. I only agree with Jules in the sense that Jermaine Franklin is also coming off a loss, but I don't think he's a bad fighter. I saw him when he was on Showtime years ago. I think he has like some good skills, but
no, he's not. No. Listen, if you told me, look, for example, if you told me, Jermaine Franklin versus somebody else, I'm cool. But for someone of AJ's stature, it does communicate a lack of confidence that you try and fight this dude.
Is it, or is he trying to develop under a new trainer? Because, bro, look at who he's fought since he won his first title. It's been nothing but like top guys. I feel like if anyone deserves a soft touch, it's probably him. But if it is that's not a
fight. Gerald Washington. Gerald Washington should be his next opponent. I'm not going to front. Gerald Washington is the perfect opponent. He's just not. Bro, he's the guy that knocked out Robert Helenius, who Wilder just fought coming off of the
and he chinny as shit.
That's the best one. That's the best. That's a.
I thought no heavyweights was chinny, bro.
I think Gerald Washington is. He's not going
to fight that dude. If I had to choose Dempsey McKean, bro. Unbeaten southpaw, you just fought a southpaw. This guy ain't this guy, he ain't no motherfucking Usyk. He a southpaw, but not all southpaws is created equal.
Dempsey McKean was not an easy fight.
Put some respect on the southpaws, baby.
Yeah, but that's a real fight. Like
but Eddie said no more southpaw. And he said he's not fighting the
because they want him. They're trying to develop him under Derrick James. Like they want to get him used to that style.
Yeah, so he's not fighting the
doesn't have the
southpaw.
stamina to throw all those punches.
Jules, what do you make of Rick Merrigan not realizing he's doing more damage than good trying to defend Jose?
Listen, I saw y'all conversation because I seen that Rick got mad. You know, he started with the other managers. Bro, listen, that's what's wrong with boxing. The managers and the promoters think they know what the fans want more than the fans.
And I'll give it to you on this tidbit.
I heard the fans don't want Ramirez versus Comey. I'm just saying, like they don't.
And I'll tell you, this is why I know the fans don't want. Top Rank told me more people are calling them for tickets and VIP tables because of Senicia than Jose in Jose's fucking hometown.
I could believe it. Like I'm like, fam, like, and I'm not knocking Jose. I'm just being real with you, bro. Yo, y'all cards run late than a bitch. I really ain't trying to see him waltzing, chasing around Richard Comey in the ring, around the ring at 12:43 in the morning, bro. Like, nah, son, you got to put some shit on. Regis should have been a fight, and I'm gonna say this too. Bob is being a dickhead. You should have signed Regis, bro. What the fuck? That dude is made for TV. He belong on ESPN, bro.
Why is no one signing Regis for it?
I don't understand. Like I'm like, fam,
because
I think always knock
because of his Probellum connections. Because of his Probellum connections.
But he wasn't with Probellum for all
the time. Nobody want to fight. Nobody want to get their. Honestly, it's this. Nobody wants to get their ass beat by Regis.
I believe that.
But look. This is the thing, right? Regis is a guy like, and I don't got nothing against Jose, but if I had to pick which one of them two fighters would I want to sign, fucking Regis, bro. He good for a knockout, bro. Somebody go to the hospital.
He's a dog.
And Regis would annihilate him, bro.
And how long, Jules? You know, how long has Jose been ducking Regis?
Since 2018, bro.
That's a long duck, man.
Rick's mad because he looks like Ben Kingsley, but he knows that Regis is gonna destroy him, man.
Yeah, he know look at all the different reasons that they gave. First, it was the split. Then Jose started talking about Kinahan and Probellum and Bob Air. It's like, bro, pick a struggle, bro. Pick a struggle. Your manager talking about the split, and you talking about the Probellum. Pick a struggle, my God. And then why y'all ain't fighting 2018 then? He wasn't with Probellum in 2018. Y'all ain't fight then. Come on, B. This is a 5-year duck.
If Regis and Crawford were an American, would they be allowed in the country right now?
I mean, I would say no.
Good
My honest.
I don't think they would.
Wait. See, this is the thing. This is the misconception that I think a lot of people have. I believe that of the 600, those are MTK global fighters, right? And Probellum ended up signing a lot of those fighters that was MTK global fighters. But Regis wasn't never no MTK global fighter. Crawford wasn't never no MTK global fighter. You see what I mean?
Crawford was though. Crawford was MTK. Yes. Crawford's management company is MTK, dog. Or was MTK.
I even know that shit. Son.
Yeah, they got a lot of.
I don't know if he
MTK fighter, yo.
Hold on, was he officially signed? Because I think
I
just saw that Kinahan advised him. I didn't know that he was like an official.
But it was like, didn't he sign like before all this shit happened though? Like he didn't even get a chance to be with him that long.
He signed a management deal with MTK Global.
I heard that. This is what I heard. I heard that Kinahan was advising. I have never heard that Crawford signed to MTK. I heard that Kinahan was advising.
Same with Josh Taylor. Like I heard that he was just an advisor.
Yeah,
but he wasn't actually signed. I don't know.
Josh was signed. I know that for Josh was signed to them. That's why he can't.
Wasn't he just advising Crawford and Jermell?
That's I don't know about Jermell, but I know he's advising Crawford. I know that.
I knew Crawford to be an MTK fighter. At some point, he signed a contract with them.
Well, wait a minute. We got some spicy shit. Jacob Sims says Joyce was knocked out multiple times in the Emmys. His chin can't have gotten better since then. Smoke and mirrors. Ooh.
Bet that 200. Bet that 200, Jules. Bet that 200.
Why don't you go bet
that 200, Jules?
And leave me the fuck alone.
I'm trying to donate. I'm trying to contribute to the channel. I'm trying to contribute to the channel, baby. Bet that 200.
But real shit, yo, that's a valid point. That is a valid point.
Yo,
So-
you
so
know,
him getting knocked out by
Alicia's
AJ is
opponent
not far-fetched then?
was signed MTK. Do you think that's going to be a problem?
Wait, say that again?
Ella Mekhaled was signed MTK. Do you think that's going to be a problem in a few weeks?
No, because she's fighting in New York. She can't be on the banned list. She's fighting in New York, but she's based out of France.
But I'm
how
saying, do
long
you think
does
she's
this
going to get
ban list
stopped from
last?
coming in?
I don't think so. I don't
No,
think
but
so.
how long does this ban list last though? Forever?
Well, look, fucking Jake Paul about to fight Tommy Fury in the UK, so I really don't know.
And
he
is the
supposed to
ban
be
list?
there.
I thought that was Saudi Arabia, though.
Is it most
Right,
of the
right,
fighters
Saudi.
from the UK?
That's the thing. We don't know because it's not like they published the 600. We don't know who's on it specifically, but we know they turned away Tommy. They turned away Tyson. They turned away Savannah Marshall. Chantel Cameron didn't come to New York for the Taylor Serrano. So because it's them fighters, that tell me that, yo, what do they all have in common? What's the one thing they all have in common? MTK.
Yeah, MTK.
Chantel was an MTK fighter. Savannah was an MTK fighter. We know fucking Fury linked to Kinahan, and we know that Tommy linked to Tyson, who linked to Kinahan. So Josh Taylor, has he been in America? No. And what he got in common with them, MTK.
That's kind of fucked up when you think about it.
It is, because they probably wasn't even doing shit. They just
boxers. What the fuck?
Yeah. Hey, that shit is real fucked up.
Listen, I heard a theory. I heard a theory that Bob had his old buddies in government. That's the reason all that is going on. That basically what it's really about is preventing Kinahan from expanding into America via his fighters and shit like that. That's what I heard that shit is really about. That it's really just about keeping them out. And what the tip of the iceberg was some shit that was going on with JoJo Diaz, that they tried to poach JoJo Diaz. That's what I heard made them do that shit. I'm like, that make a little bit of sense because he was getting big. He was getting big. Like,
He was trying to strong arm. He was trying to strong arm like the prices of like, now these are all my fighters. This is what they want to get paid.
Mm-hmm. And Bob says some shit about Kinahan. He'd worked with him in the past, but there was some bully tactics that he didn't like. This is verbatim. This is what Aram said. There was some bully tactics that he tried, and they don't want to do no more business with him. That's what he said. So, yeah, I mean, that
he said too much.
If that is true, then that makes complete sense considering, look at the consensus of the American media to their bias against the European British fighters. Like, that would make a lot of sense if they're trying to, freeze them out of expanding into the United States.
That's a theory that was presented to me by Alexis. Shout out to Alexis. But it does make a little bit of sense because that is what was going on at the time. They were shopping for American talent. And as you can imagine, you don't want to have to compete with somebody else. You don't want somebody else making your job harder. You already got fucking Eddie Hearn to worry about.
Yeah, that adds to the credence you've been saying, Jules. The American market's drying up so bad that they don't want those other guys with more money just rushing the reset and taking over.
Yeah, like that job is hard enough.
Hey, Jules, thanks for having me on. I'm gonna go.
I bet.
All right, Boston nerd.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jake. All right, I read that super chat already, and yeah, yo, like I could see that being true, but for full transparency, all of that is speculation. We don't know that it was Bob that tipped off the government, but it wouldn't surprise me. Like, well, he do got friends. He do come from a legal background. He was a tax attorney during the Kennedy administration. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he still got friends in government. That wouldn't.
Also, he just came out of being kind of usurped by Al Heyman. If Bob was on point, he would have never let Al Heyman get into position. So now he done learned from his mistakes, and he damn sure not about to allow a Kinahan to get in position under him. So yeah, it does make sense that he would kick him out and make sure that he stopped the snowball before it even at the top of the hill.
Because Al created problems like before Eddie and the zone and all that shit, throwing the money around and creating problems. Al was doing that. Al was out here paying motherfuckers crazy ass shit. Don't want to work with nobody. Everything got to be in house, trying to monopolize everything. You done come out of that. and then it start over with Eddie. So by the time you see a Kinahan, oh nah, we not going through this again.
Exactly.
Is it safe to say though, like once Bob's gone, whether retire or passes away, like there's not going to be an American promoter that can fend off that assault.
Not really.
And
nah.
honestly, I'm not defending the guy, but like, you know how people say Vegas was better when it was run by the mob? Kinahan was actually doing a decent job with a lot of his fighters. Like that MT Global stable was actually pretty stacked.
Yeah, no, it was, but it's just that it's not a problem in the beginning, but it's like familiarity. You know why you never let people get too familiar? Oh, it's cool at first in small doses, and before you know it, they in your fridge eating your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we gonna nip this in the bud now, bro. Like, we don't need another outfit in America.
Jules, you seen the super chat?
Let me see. Let me see. I must have missed it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it. Heyman fears Kinahan. Oh yeah, yo. Kinahan is the Baba Yaga, bro. It's the Baba Yaga. That's John Wick, bro. You know what I'm saying? Beats, jump on the chat, bro. Jump on the chat. It's Kinahan times. I got my Instacart coming for those that don't know. I just didn't feel like going to the grocery store. Fuck all that. Instacart. They need to sponsor me. Hey, I fucking use that shit all the time.
I'll at them.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I could believe that Bob had a hand in trying to freeze Kinahan out of the American market because it makes sense. That's more competition than you can perhaps handle at this point in the juncture. You already have to compete with Al and Eddie. It's bad enough as it is. So I could believe that. Now Beats, we got a spicy topic, bro. Zile Zhang, Joe Joyce. Chaim thinks that Zile Zhang is going to knock Joe Joyce out. What say you?
Hey, it's a dangerous fight, man. It's a dangerous. Joe Joyce is. I don't know if he's going to knock him out, Chaim, but Joe Joyce has become the heavyweight favorite, man. He's the fan favorite right now, and that's a fan favorite. And Angela Yang, for that man, he's fearless.
But could you see that happening though? Because this is the indictment. What Chaim is saying is that Joe Joyce has taken enough punishment that his chin ain't what people saying it is. Is that plausible? What are we really talking about? Brian Jennings ain't a puncher. Joe Parker really ain't a puncher neither, you know what I mean? So is it possible that he really ain't got the cast iron chin that everybody says he has?
No one's got a cast iron chin in there, boy.
Thank you, Beats.
No one has a cast iron chin except Oliver McCall.
Yeah, that's it.
I said Marius Wack.
David Tua.
Yeah, David
Triple
Tua.
G.
Yeah, hey, listen, my man from Brooklyn dropped David Tua though. Wasn't Monty Barrett? He dropped him though.
Hex Cobb.
But who dropped Triple G though? Nobody dropped Triple G.
Nobody's dropped Triple G.
I don't think anybody's dropped Marius Wack.
But we talking heavyweight because you know heavyweight is a different beast. You get hit good one time, you might go out. Yeah. And it's a little hard to imagine that it's gonna be. I could see him knocking down Joe. I could see that. Knocking him out though, when he high, when he doing things.
I don't know if he knocked Joe out.
6'6", 260. 6'6", 260.
Zhang's a big boy.
He lands clean on your chin. 6'6", 260, clean on your chin.
You know, his big problem
in the third round.
His big problem is the second half of the fight because he faded a little against Zagovic, didn't he? And he faded. Yeah.
And he let him off the hook a couple of times, which I didn't like. That you see you got the guy hurt. We see you got the guy hurt, but you couldn't finish him. When Joe gets you hurt, he'll finish you.
Yeah.
So I'm saying.
See, this is what I'm saying, man. When these two have that fight, man, the heavyweight division, like, it's not no big fight. There ain't no title. But if you make the right fight, people get excited. I saw people getting excited. Oh, yeah.
It's intriguing.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I said, Beats, it's two fucking zombies, and whoever gets fucking starts first, it's going to be a bloody, ugly fight, and I love it.
When you have unknowns, it makes the fight. When there's debatability, when there's a question mark, that's the whole issue that I have right now with boxing overall with some of these fights. There's no question going into the fight.
See, you make a Ramirez versus Comey. And you know that Ramirez, like, come on, be like, and I like, boy, come on.
But Comey is on the very last 9 of his career.
Bang. You know what I mean? So when you make that shit, it's like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to get excited? Like, nah. And I know that it's kind of the same dichotomy with Prograis. If you put Ramirez in there with Prograis is gonna fuck him up. But it's such a good ass whooping that I need to see it.
Like,
good ass.
It's a good fight.
It's not like, think about it like this. Richard Comey was getting hurt by Lomachenko. Jose Ramirez can fuck him up and hurt him. It's not a safe fight for him.
I dig it, but remember how he looked with Pedraza? He looked like shit. He looked like shit with Pedraza, bro. And I thought he was going to steamroll Pedraza because you know Jose is big for 140. He's real big for 140. 5'11" at 140 pounds is big. All right, and Pedraza had you all confused and shit. So you want to be like
he looked like shit against Zepeda and Josh Taylor. These southpaws get rid of him easily.
Here's the thing, though, right? The thing with the Comey fight, right? If it was just the Comey fight and nothing else was on the table, I'd be looking forward to it. But when you could have fought Prograis for the belt, and now we have to satisfy with this, it's like, nah, bro.
All right, let me say this then. Let me say this. I would accept you swerving Regis if you was fighting Lopez. I could accept that.
Yes, yeah.
Watching him get his ass whooped again would make me very happy.
Facts.
You know,
I don't even know who. Like, I haven't thought about that fight because like, I haven't thought about that fight, but I'm like, yo, can Lopez beat him? Yeah,
I think so.
I think he can beat him. Absolutely. I think he can beat him though. Will he beat him? Don't know, but I think he can be. Absolutely, he can beat him. Absolutely.
He can.
He got the right style. I just see that, like, because Lopez has the right style. Like, what's Ramirez? He's a pressure fighter. He's very aggressive, even though he's physically imposing. For Lopez, who's not the biggest 140-pounder, doesn't have the most assertive punch, but stylistically, Lopez has an edge. That, yeah, you know, if you want to get off counter shots, this is the guy you want because he want to stand right in front of you. But when the pressure's on and he keep coming after you, like, what if you land your best shit and he don't go away?
That was my question. That was my question to you, Jules. Does Ramirez survive the punch that Lopez hit Comey with?
Yes.
I think if he does, I think Teofimo has the speed and just agility to like
follow
be able
up.
to be able to and then be able to win rounds just off that.
I think he could maybe win.
So you're saying Teofimo has the footwork and the speed like Tank versus Duran?
Listen, bro.
Listen, if he does it.
Listen. I don't think he could knock Ramirez. If Taylor couldn't knock him out, I don't think Lopez would knock him out. And he fought a spiteful, angry Josh Taylor that dropped him 2 times.
Yeah, but Lopez is a little bit more explosive. If he can't survive the punch, right? If Ramirez can't survive the punch, it looks like Rosado versus Beck Bully. Because Ramirez comes forward.
But Teofimo was getting fucking flustered eyes when Loma was tagging him up.
Wait, but I think we're forgetting.
Bro, like, can I say that I don't like how Lopez look when he get hit? Can I say that when he get hit, when he get touched, he don't really
respond well. Yeah, he don't respond well. That's why I always been wondering if can he handle the heat in the kitchen.
He got dropped twice by a dude who had less than a 50% knockout ratio. What are we talking about here?
But that's a different style. That's a different style.
Yeah, but he wasn't not going to be moving. He got knocked down, but he wasn't hurt.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not like he's this defensive wizard. He has a Philly show.
It's not that even it's a different style. It's still a fucking punch getting hit in your head, and you react weird when you get a piss.
I'm going to say
but
this.
Ramirez is not defensively responsible.
No. I don't think Lopez is very durable, bro. I really don't think he that durable. You got dropped by Cambo, and you got dropped hard. You got dropped 2 times by Sandor, and Sandor don't hit that hard, bro. So if Ramirez is getting off, can you take it?
That's a good question.
Very good question.
And I think that, but also I think some of that has to do with Teofimo not growing into the weight class yet. Because if you remember with Compa, he came in underweight.
Bro,
It ain't just not growing into
Maybe
his weight
4
class. It's
fights
him
in
not
his
being
fourth
sound.
fight.
Listen,
He's
He
not
makes a
growing
good
as a
point.
fighter.
can't
Yo, he
keep
just made a
doing
good
this shit
point.
with Lopez, bro. Look, you got dropped at 35 by Kimbo. You got fucking dropped at 40 by Sandor. Something got to give. And we can't keep looking for reasons, bro. You know why you got dropped? Because you don't take the best punch. That's why you got dropped.
I think he's got confidence issues as well, bro.
That and
I
I'll
think
tell you
that
why he
more
got dropped by Sandor. His dad didn't wear the gold Bud Light suit.
I
Bad
gotta
luck.
get the picture out. Wait,
He's
I gotta get
stupid.
There you
He
go.
can always pull up that picture, yo.
There you go. I gotta
That
get
shit is the worst picture. Yo.
That fucking picture, yo.
best family picture ever. Kinahan or Jay? All right, 12-round fight. Kinahan or Jay Prince? Who wins the fight?
Damn, that's
Jay
Good
Prince.
fight.
Jay Prince might win
Kinahan.
it.
I think Kinahan.
Kinahan 15 years ago, Jay Prince would have won.
No,
Yeah,
Kinahan
yeah,
washes
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Jay
That's
Prince
fair.
is tiny,
Yeah.
yo. Jay Prince is like 5'5".
Yeah,
But he is
Whoa.
Operation is also tiny in comparison.
I
You know
honestly
what's-
hope you never see Jay Prince in the streets, bro. I just
Exactly.
Well, it's not
I gotta
completely.
say, bro.
It's not completely tiny in comparison. It's not completely tiny in comparison. Jay Prince owns his own island.
He
Jay
owns the
Prince-
island?
He owns his own
Kinahan
island. That's a
owns
fact.
Ireland. Kinahan owns an island. It's called Ireland.
Guys,
Real
let me
shit.
just
That was fucking gangster. That was
Oh,
fucking gangster right
shit.
there.
Yo, all right, hold on. I gotta get my groceries. Y'all chop it up for a second. I'll be right back.
That's
Guys,
real though.
let me
Go
point
ahead,
this
fam.
out real quick. Let me just point this out for everybody. Jay Prince is the only man I have ever heard of to ever make Kanye West apologize to anybody, and he made him apologize to Drake of all people.
Let me tell you
Yeah.
That guy is no joke.
Jay Prince hold a lot of weight. I ain't gonna front.
Let me tell you the best story on that guy then. Charleston White was talking mad-ish about and then another video came up and it just totally changed, man. He was like, yeah, he done a lot for this. And he's a good man.
Yeah, because Charleston White lives in Texas and Jay Prince basically owns Texas. So you can't hide from him in no fucking Texas. You can't hide from him anywhere in the South, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, true story. I don't like the way his son's moving though.
I don't like it either. I think it's
His son ain't built like his father.
Both sons. I think he should have raised his sons to be businessmen,
Yeah,
lawyers.
because they didn't come from the mud.
Yeah,
That's
they
what I'm
don't.
saying,
Yeah,
like,
they're not from the street.
They came up with money and they're acting like street guys. Like, why are you
Yeah, I
playing
don't like
dice,
that.
bro?
I don't like
It's a
that. I don't like that.
Bro, it's a generational thing, man. Like I was talking about with hip hop the other day. Like, look at 50 Cent. That dude was 100% real. And then you got guys like 21 Savage talking about how they got bodies on live cam. Like, give me a break.
That was stupid. I saw that yesterday. I saw that for the first time. I was like, "What? That's just fucking insane."
Just to pivot real quick, I got a hot take. I was thinking about it, and I wanted to share this with you guys.
What's up?
I think when it all comes down to it, Tank made a mistake, and I'm gonna tell you what the mistake he made.
Mm-hmm.
He should have already fought Haney.
Yes.
Bro.
Yes.
Because he would have beat Haney.
Yes,
What's going to happen is Haney's going to fight Loma. If he beats Loma, if he gets another fight in, if he gets one more fight in, at that point, I don't think Tank will beat him at that point because he'll work all those flaws out. I was arguing with people about 8 months ago. I said, as of right now, I think Tank knocks out Haney. But
this is what pisses me off about Tank though. This guy is next in line in the WBA rankings to fight Haney if he wanted to. This is the only generation in boxing where contenders don't want to fight the champion.
Actually, you know what? I'll take it a step further on this hot take. I said this before. I said Tank and Ryan made a mistake in not trying to take Haney's title from him before he fought Linares. Because after that, it just got worse. And it became more difficult for him to fight. Because at the beginning,
I agree with you 100%.
It's because he's getting better and better, and the deficiencies he has are going to.
Well, you got to understand this too. It was never in Haney's plan to fight Tank at 35. They're not going to fight Haney at 40, so it's not going to happen.
Can I backpack? Can I backpack off your statement? Can I backpack off your statement?
Yeah. Because
you
real
said
quick,
that Devin Haney. You said that they fucked up by not fighting Devin Haney right then and there, right when he was developing. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. Let's transfer that same energy to Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. I think Deontay Wilder definitely fucked up by not fighting Joshua when he had the chance, because that was a winnable fight. But now it's starting to look shaky.
I don't know about that. The difference is because Joshua's a lot more aggressive.
A little bit of doubt sitting on that one.
Tell me why you disagree. Tell me why.
Because aggressive fighters give Wilder a lot of problems.
Because before, if you go back when Wilder was looking dominant, Joshua was still confident, and I still don't see Wilder walking out easily with a victory. And
I don't either. I don't either.
So now that Joshua's lost some confidence, the problem is so did Wilder. So at no point I feel like Wilder would have had some type of advantage fighting Joshua.
The reason why I say that is because we saw Usyk 1, we saw Usyk 2, and we did see improvements in Joshua. Joshua is a better fighter now than he was in 2016, 2018. Joshua is better now.
I tell you what. Haney doesn't beat Tank, bro. Like
right now, he doesn't. I still got Tank right now as we speak.
No. Look. First, to cut the bullshit, you got to get the hard salami.
No, I don't do salami, homie. I don't do salami, homie. No salami, no thank you.
That fight.
No salami, homie.
Tell me. Haney's not going to be at 35 after this fight. So any chance to fight?
Yo, listen, Devin to beat motherfucking Tank right now.
No, he won't.
Yes,
he won't. He will go. He will make a mistake and go to sleep. Haney still got deficiencies in his game. He gonna make one mistake and go to sleep.
I know what the mistake.
I would have agreed.
I started talking. I didn't get to finish what I was saying.
I'm sorry.
Garcia was giving him problems with the boxing, right? And he's nowhere near the complete boxer that Devin is, right? Mm-hmm. And even Rowley was getting the jab off. They don't have the discipline or the technique to hold that down for 12 rounds. Devin can. Devin will.
Wait. I see what mistake he's talking about, though. He's talking about the lean over to the right. And I've heard a lot of people say that about Devin. Whenever he doesn't, he's kind of in a weird half space. He's not so sure what to do. He'll always just lean over to the right and think about clinching. And like if he does that against Tank, that's it. Fight's over.
Yeah, okay, I hear what you're saying, but let's use logic.
Gamboa, he couldn't knock him out.
Let's use logic, but Beats. Let's use logic. Any chance that fight has to happen, it's at 140. That's even better for Devin.
That is true. Yeah. That is true. That's a factual statement right there.
Which is why we're saying he made the mistake.
And Devin's 24 years old, Tank's 28. Any realistic time that could happen.
That's why
that could happen. Devin's 26, 27, Tank's 31.
Yeah, that's why I said. That's why I'm saying by the time they fight, Haney will beat him.
So give me my same respect for Joshua.
Let me pay the bills. What's good, Jules and panel? Zhang and Joyce, great fight, but he ain't knocking Joyce out. Joyce KOs him late after Zhang gasses. Ow! Shout out to my man Boxing Gems with the best boxing film study videos. T.O. relies on athleticism to cover up some fundamental flaws. I agree with that.
And he has a great video on that.
But that's every young fighter. That's every young fighter, though.
That ain't been
every young fighter.
Yeah, but T.O., are we going to call T.O. a young fighter forever?
No, but I'm just saying that's every young fighter, yo.
Man, now I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you motherfuckers what.
Tell us about that Haney Tank.
All right, first and foremost, Javante won't get past that jab. He won't get past that jab. Devin got better feet than Hector Garcia with a better jab than Hector Garcia, and he bigger than Hector Garcia. Getting close enough to him to hit him with some shit, it don't happen. And
12 rounds. You got to do it for 12 rounds, buddy.
Hold on. And I do agree. You would have been better off fighting him then than fighting him now. And you would have been better off fighting him then than later on. Because later on, you ain't going to be able to do nothing with him.
That's exactly how I feel. I think right now it's almost a toss-up, but I still think he'll knock him out because I think the Loma fight is going to be the thing that's going to be the turning point when it comes to, for me, in regards to Haney, because I personally he handled business versus Kambosos, but I don't think it was a challenge for him. It was, because he's that gifted naturally, and he really was able just to, to keep the distance, and he was so effective. And Kambosos is not a pressure fighter, and I personally feel like Tank is smarter in the ring than people give credit for. Like you talking about
one thing, he do one thing. I see one thing, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all know I don't like Tank, but he did one thing that I did like in this Hector Garcia fight. He couldn't counter Hector's jab, and he couldn't get around it. So what he did was he stopped throwing and he started doing this sneaky shit. He just changed levels on him, get close to him, and creep up on him. Hector couldn't do a lot with that because Hector's strides are not that long. But Devin, you take a half step back, keep that jab in his face. Take a half step, keep that jab in his face. You're not getting around that jab, bro. I'm telling you, he don't get around that jab.
We had Nonito Donaire on the show the other day, and Devin Haney is not going to get challenged at 135 only on the scales. That's where his challenges are at the scales.
That's the biggest challenge. The damn scale.
So you can't judge his fights at 35 right now because he's not at his best abilities. Devin's career is going to be measured at 140.
You already said the main shit that all of us need to understand. That fucking fight, if it ever happens, not that I think it will, but if it ever does, it ain't going to be at 35. It's going to be at 40. And that weight favors Devin more than Javante.
By the time that fight happens, the advantage is going to be on Haney's side. I will admit to that. But one thing tell me if you agree with this. Hector Garcia was in the pocket too much in the fight.
Yeah,
I thought he fought a pretty good fight, but he was in the pocket way too much.
That's literally what I said in the build-up. I don't trust this guy. The way you got to beat Javante is hold your position, maintain distance, and shoot the jab. Don't engage. Don't put 3 and 4 punches together, 1 and 2 at a time, and stay on your jab. And he was doing okay in the beginning with that.
But then he started standing in the pocket and try to trade and you don't try to be a Billy Badass with him. Don't be sitting there trying to trade with him. No.
I'll admit this though. I'll admit this. Tank and Devin is a lot closer than Tank Shakur.
Shakur will school him, bro.
Yeah, Shakur will school him. I'm sorry. I don't see flaws in Shakur's game. Shakur schools everybody at this point right now.
Yes, 100%.
The only challenges for Shakur Stevenson is at 140 and 147. Other than that, he beat. I don't see. Listen, I don't give a fuck who win Loma Haney. Shakur beat him.
Beat both of them. Yeah,
both of them. Shakur is the one. He got the Leroy glow, in my opinion.
He's gonna change his name to Shakur because he about to cure us of this bullshit.
Only thing that could go bad with him. I don't know. Go bad with him is that he doesn't grow correctly.
It's too much to show in a bit. He's still unproven at 130. I like to give him some tests. Like
he's only going to be stronger at 135 beats. He's only going to be stronger.
Yeah, I mean he's fighting the guy that beat Nakatani, so that's a pretty good test. Well, ish.
Put him in there was the pay
I'm sorry, bro. I couldn't say that with full confidence.
Like even Joe, so some tough guys and see what he's saying. Yeah, like Hector Garcia, even before the fight, he said, "I've got to be disciplined and not throw too much punches," and he did it early. But I even said it in my build-up. I said eventually, he's gonna get confident. I said it's gonna be when he's successful. Throw too many shots, and Tank's gonna bang him over. And
you know what? Okay, now you just said something. Now I'm going to tell y'all something. When y'all talking about, when we use points to say why Haney would beat Tank, we talking about, Rolly was doing the thing for 6 rounds. No, bro, that's people not understanding. That's part of Tank's strategy. He gonna make you feel good like you good.
I don't give him that much credit. Bro.
Yeah, because you don't like him. I like Tank. I'm giving him the damn credit.
You're not getting hit with a jab square in the face because that's part of the plan.
No.
Why do you uncomfortable getting hit by that jab? He started holding and everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna just let him punch me in my face.
I'm not saying that he's trying to get hit on purpose, but I'm saying is in regards to when you're fighting, sometimes you landing on Tank can be a detriment.
Yeah,
if you start doing too good, you start getting too comfortable and trying to get too aggressive.
Wait. I don't disagree with you on that because that is the pitfall. That's the pitfall that I see a lot of the fighters have, that they realize, oh, I could touch him, and then they try to touch him too much. You see, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Wilder versus Washington.
But the thing is, I don't attribute that to something that Tank is doing. I Attribute that to a mistake that they make. You getting too overconfident.
Julius, can I introduce a little topic? I don't know if you covered it. What do you think of the zone purchasing going on Amazon Prime?
It's beautiful. It's going to increase the exposure.
Oh, that's what I wanted to see your opinion on, Jules.
No. Amazon, they're basically going to become available on Amazon Prime as one of the channels, and that's going to increase the exposure. If anything's going to come out of that, honestly, you'll have Amazon periodically advertising DAZN shows. That's what I see happening. That when you open up your Prime, you're gonna see things that are happening on DAZN, like commercials for the shit or whatever, small advertisements, which will thereby raise the profile of the app. So it's beautiful. It's really, honestly,
that's really good.
Great.
The zone's going to end up being a really profitable business in the upcoming years when you get down the road. Yeah. They are setting a foundation for success, something that PBC didn't do. Yeah, they threw a lot of money in the air of the zone, but they threw a lot of money for things that actually have grass and ground roots to grow. PBC just threw money in the air.
It's like when you hear about the losses that the zone had, for example, which is this is a testament to how bad media is in America. The masses will hear that the zone lost billions in 2021, not realizing, that those billions they lost were for soccer rights, right?
Yeah, they spent 1.9 billion on them.
Wait, Jules, you mean to tell me that wasn't Eddie Hearn that lost all that money?
But you see what I'm talking about. Let me tell you, it was soccer, Formula One, and all them other prestigious sports, which like billionaires. You know what I mean? Like play.
And Beats, we got to get into arguments with guys about this stuff when you know that the article is a 2-minute read. You can literally read the fucking article in 2 minutes. Right. And these guys, they'll run around telling everybody, look, Eddie Hearn lost $1 billion. It's like, it's really some little kid shit.
Famous pussy ass planet.
Nobody got time for that.
What they don't understand, right? How much it costs to purchase La Liga, Serie A, Premiership, and Championship. Listen, that's blue chip like commodities in the sports world. I mean,
exactly. And when you let the boxing, which adequately describes how bent the boxing world is and how bent they cover sports, they want people running around thinking that Eddie Hearn blew $1 billion doing Wood versus Conlon and shit.
Right,
like, bro,
exactly.
They fucking
really fucking ridiculous.
Eddie Hearn already lost what money he was going to lose. That they have already kind of like scaled. They didn't scale back, but they now have got their formula down pat now. So because I noticed that almost every new promotional company in boxing, they start off just throwing money in the air so they can.
That's any business that starts out in the beginning. Exactly. There were going to be losses in the beginning, but the losses that they took were calculated losses. Those were sports rights they were buying so they could diversify their platform. That we don't just show boxing, we don't just show snooker, we don't just show darts, we show Bundesliga, we show Formula One, we got a little bit of MMA in there. I wouldn't mind if they bought Power Slap. I love that shit. I love that.
The PBC right now.
I don't like UFC, but I like Power Slap. Dude, I seen that dude get the shit slapped out of him.
The PBC was not calculated losses. The PBC was not calculated.
They were just throwing money and didn't have an actual strategy and plan. And that's why they got sued, because they were spending so much money on fighters and just giving them. And that's why these fighters are now messed up, because they have an overinflated ego with their work.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%, bro.
On paper, Al's strategy didn't sound bad. That we gonna buy time and then we gonna get money off the ad revenue. Like it's not on paper, and when I say it, it don't really sound that bad. That we just gonna buy time on these networks and then we gonna get the money off of the commercials that show during the time that we show in our cards. It's just that it didn't work out, and when it didn't work out, they didn't adjust. You just overpaying Leo Santa Cruz.
Their product is garbage.
Yeah, their product wasn't
trash.
garbage.
That's why it didn't work out.
The product is garbage.
Not at first.
We had
they were doing their thing, bro. At first, I was on PBC side at first, man.
If we go back,
we had Keith Thurman versus Sean Porter free.
That's what I'm going back to. That in the beginning, being honest, it wasn't bad. Laura versus Heard,
because it was on terrestrial television.
It was beautiful.
They messed up their television deal. That's the thing. You want to use the television to build the profile. So when you do the pay-per-views, they end up being maximum successful.
Exactly.
They're giving you Laura Heard caliber fights for $75 now. That you can't translate that to the pay-per-view market.
They don't even know how to build the pay-per-view profile. They put the cart before the horse.
You could be good on TV, on free TV. That's fine, but not all that is going to translate to pay-per-view.
I'm gonna tell you when they shit the bed. I'm gonna tell you when they shit the bed. Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman was supposed to be the PBC dream realized. Most people forget that 6 million fucking people watched that fight. But how did they shit the bed? The fight was disappointing. The fight was doodle. It was forgettable. It was
I think they did manage their books well, Jules. I think it worked. I think the plan actually worked, and it was actually profitable. But unlike Matchroom,
no, bro, they was bouncing from network to network at that time. They went from NBC.
Hold on. They had numerous networks at one time. It was actually working for a second, but they didn't handle their business like Matchroom. Barry Hearn is an actual accountant. They're actually handling their business like business people, really looking at the numbers. They weren't doing that, and they was giving out purses and all of this shit.
Now that's true.
Shows,
the overspending. The reason that these motherfuckers don't want to get out there now and do no shit. Well,
because it was ridiculous.
And they never. This is one thing that Matchroom did that they didn't do. You notice that Matchroom trimmed the fat.
Mm-hmm.
They trimmed the fat. Like, yo, we ain't just gonna be just, like we did what we could do for you, Andre. We did what we could do. Denny, we did what we could do. We got you the Canelo fight. We got you the Chavez fight. But we're not just gonna be giving you 3 and 4 mil. With Devin, look, we'll work with you. But we're not gonna go into a contract because we don't want to get stuck with a contract minimum where we got to give you 3 and 4, whatever the fuck we got to give you. They actually trimmed the fat. The PBC, they never trimmed the fat.
Yeah,
anything he got to get 7 figures every time he get out.
Yo, Jules, the PBC was running 125 fighters at one time. That's what they had on their roster. 125 fighters. They sold everybody when Richard Schaefer from Golden Boy. They had 125 fighters on their roster at one time.
And not a single one of those fighters was a true bona fide
superstar. Yeah.
Not a single one.
Not one.
You got all these heads you got to accommodate. You got to accommodate all of them. And they all want big purses.
They only built 3 of those fighters into somewhat of a superstar. And that's Tank, but we know he's not PBC, he's TMC. And then there's Wilder and there's Errol Spence.
And their best shot was Wilder, and they blew it.
They had to outsource Pacquiao. They had to outsource Canelo.
Their best shot was Wilder because, look, he got his ass whooped in the fight, right? But I'm just imagining an environment where he don't get his ass whooped and he move on. If he would have won that second Fury fight, so 800,000 pay-per-views, that would have looked good. Like, and that's our fighter, right? Fox would have looked at that like, and that's our fighter, right? Right, that's our fighter. All right, let's get him some money. Because 800,000 pay-per-view buys, that's big. Remember, the first one was only 325,000. They sold more than double that.
But it would have also, you're correct. It would have also maintained value in the company. We got the heavyweight champion of the world.
Bang. Now we not.
1 second, real quick. What you just said, maintain value.
None of them did though.
That's why Spence and Crawford didn't happen.
Listen,
exactly. Because it declines
getting in a car accidents. If you Bill Wenger, you go into the fucking deal with the PBC, you losing money like Wilder done got his ass whooped. Spence out here flipping fucking Ferraris and shit.
I had that man a fucking limousine driver, bro.
Bro, get that man an Uber at least. Like
dummy shit.
Give his ass a helicopter.
No,
bro, I'm not trying to have accidents like that,
bro. I don't know, man.
Nah.
He just got in another. Yo, look, he said in between. He said in between car accident, in between the car accident and the Ugas fight, he got into another accident.
Yeah.
And then after that, he got into another accident.
Accidents, man.
I take it back, bro. Maybe make a move to New York and have him take the trains, bro.
He should get a sponsorship with he should be the new Allstate dude. What's the dude's name? Mayhem.
The Mayhem guy.
That's sponsorship. He should be Mayhem.
That is hilarious.
Nigga fly through windshields and shit.
Bro, his eyes start falling out a bit more, bro.
Yo, I think I need to message him and say, yo, bro, you need to holler at Allstate, bro. You can get you a sponsorship. You be the new Mayhem dude.
If you think about the fighters, because when the deal was struck, which was circa 2018, 2019, when the deal was struck between the PBC and Fox, you got to pay attention to which fighters migrated from Showtime over to Fox. That was Wilder, got his ass beat. That was Spence, who out here flipping Ferraris, even though he's still undefeated, but you didn't get to capitalize him because he was sidetracked. Tack on the pandemic that fucked everything up for everyone. Caleb Plant went over there, but the fuck is Caleb Plant? You know what I'm saying? Manny fucking Pacquiao He beat Thurman, but then he sat out for 2 years.
Then lost to Ugas.
But
that's another
what's
disadvantage of their model. Like, look, let's
that.
say, like you mentioned Wilder potentially being a star. Let's say he won all the Fury fights spectacularly. By the time he arrived, he's 40 years old. What else can you fucking do with him?
Make a couple big paydays and have a nice
He's
one.
fighting once or twice a year. Where's the future here?
You know what? You find another heavyweight. You find another heavyweight for him to fight. Then maybe that person finish him off, and then he can be able to build his profile.
The problem is they played it wrong because they think they have their fighters under the impression that once you on pay-per-view, you can't go back. If it's me, no, you're going back. You're going to have intermittent pay-per-views. What we're going to do with you, we're going to put your big fights on pay-per-view or your solid fights, but we're going to give you tune-ups in between. Those tune-ups are going to be on Fox. So we can bring Fox millions of viewers and maintain that relationship. We need that relationship to be strong. And it can't be strong if we got to feed your ego every fucking fight. We can't do that.
And we putting more eyes on you.
Yeah, imagine a Wilder fight. They never got to capitalize on the breadth of Fox. What do I mean by that? Imagine a regular old Wilder fight. Like, let's say Wilder versus Hellenius, a fight like that. Well, you know Wilder going to win. Imagine a fight like that on regular Fox. How many people would have seen that shit? That shit probably would have brought in 2-3 million.
That's common sense, man.
But if you're going to put everything behind a paywall, oh, well, ain't nobody going to see that shit. Everything is behind a paywall. You think I need to pay $80 to see what the fuck I already know that you going to knock him out? Don't make no sense. Egos is too big. And another thing that made his ego big, and I said it in 2018, you're confusing DAZN being willing to pay to play with your marquee value. You were offered $20 million, not because you were worth that at the time. You weren't. You were offered $20 million as a good faith offer to bring you over. Showtime, you rejected. Showtime then has to compensate you for it. So they give you 14, 15 million or whatever it was just to keep you cool. Like, look, we know you turned down the 20 million. We appreciate your loyalty, yada, yada, yada. Here's 14 million. And y'all blew that because we know Dominic Brazil ain't no 14, 15 million dollar fighter. You crazy? Nah.
Yo,
and then
Jules.
And what does he do the very next fight? He fucking goes to Fox.
And if you think about it, that might be the first thing.
Up,
like in retrospect, that might be the thing that was the beginning of the end. That moment there.
Yes.
Exactly. That's what fucked him up.
In more than one way.
Bro, they paid 14 million to Deontay Wilder. They paid him 30 million again. They pay him probably 30 million or 25 million again. That's where they lost all their budget, and they ain't got fuck all for any of the fighters now.
You
blew your whole budget.
You think about what happened, so you get Showtime to give you 14 M's on the premise that you rejected the DAZN's offer, and hindsight tells us, no, motherfucker, you should have took it. You should have took the offer. You know what I mean? But they told you to reject it, so that's what you did. Showtime coughs up 14, 15 mil to compensate you. All right, they did that, but that's some money that they don't get back because the Brazil fight wasn't a pay-per-view, for those that forgot. That wasn't a pay-per-view. So, and that damn sure wasn't a 14, 15 million dollar fight. So they gave you that not because you were good for it, but because DAZN offered you 20 million. That's very different.
Can I just ask?
You was good for it.
Make this make hold on. Make this make sense, bro. Yeah. All right. You tried to invest with Tyson. What were they thinking, giving him 14 or 15 million at the time? Fair enough, they had to, so they don't lose their asset, their biggest asset, so called at the time. But probably they were trying to negotiate.
The only thing I could think of is they looked at the sales projections from DAZN and they thought that, oh, Wilder's worth all this money. No, morons. DAZN is just willing to give you that because they have it. It's not that
they had Anthony Joshua that would bring it back for them, motherfuckers.
Bang! It's that they looked at basically what they're telling themselves with the people at DAZN and John Skipper, who doesn't work for DAZN anymore. But if John Skipper and Eddie Hearn put the value of the fight at approximately $80 to $100 million, oh, we have ourselves a valuable fighter. No, you don't. That value is because of AJ. Not you.
Yes. Can I interject? Can I interject real quick, Jules? Can I interject on something? I want to start a new argument, but it's related to exactly what you just said. It's related to everything that we're talking about. So we was talking about Devin Haney and Tank Davis, and how Tank should have fought him earlier rather than later, because he could have probably beat him earlier. I said, you was getting your groceries and stuff. I said that the same applies to Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder when it comes to Joshua. I think Joshua has improved as a fighter in the ring to the point where it's more to their detriment now to fight Joshua, because he's a lot better than what he was. We all agree that the opportune time for Wilder to fight Joshua was the $100 million offer. That was the moment. Yeah. That was the time. Take the fucking fight. Come on. Yeah. At that time, Joshua was walking into a fight basically that he was about to lose. Joshua wasn't as good as he is today. I think Tyson Fury, for all his bullshit, and Deontay Wilder for all his massive punching power, I think they both putting themselves at a disadvantage towards Joshua, because Joshua is the only one that is actually maturing as a fighter. Tyson Fury is not maturing as a fighter. He is a set package. He's a set package. And Deontay Wilder also is not maturing as a fighter. He's a set package. The only one that is maturing and changing and showing us improvements is Joshua.
Well, look,
Do you agree?
I agree, but not when he should have accepted it. Most people aren't going to agree with me on this.
The 12.5?
I believe that the deal that Wilder should have took is not the DAZN deal. It's before that.
The 12.5?
Yeah. There's 2 points.
I agree with you.
I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why he should have took the first offer. You take the first offer, you nip this in the bud, you come back to America a hero. The world is your oyster after that. He would
exactly.
He would have blew. Like, I'm undisputed. I'm not just the first. I'm the first undisputed American champion in how many years? Who the fuck was going to stop him? Who the fuck was going to ace out him?
Can I let you in on a secret? Can I let you in on a secret real quick, Jules? All the money after the $12.5 million offer, right? If he would have accepted that offer, all the money that Joshua made from that point on, Wilder would have had that money. That would have been Wilder's money.
Now, here's the second offer. The second offer. Most people look at the hundo from DAZN and say that that's the offer that he should have took. I disagree. He was made a better offer before that. It was 15 mil guaranteed at 35% of the pot. 35% of that fight is bigger than any motherfucking thing you would have went on to do. They offered him April 9th at Wembley. This is before the DAZN offer. 15 mil guaranteed.
Second time or
yeah.
That was supposed to be the Joseph Parker fight. That was supposed to be the Joseph Parker fight.
It was 15 mil guaranteed. It was either 35 or 40. No, it was 40. It was 40. At first it was 35, then it was 40.
40%, yeah.
Bang. And I'm like, bro, if you would have got that upside, that's damn near 50. That's damn near 50% of the pot. That's damn near 50. That fight with AJ would have been way bigger than them fucking Fury fights. Win or lose, you would have made money. But moreover, they gave you everything you wanted. You said you wanted a two-way rematch clause. One in America, one in the UK. That's what they offered you. But at that time, you feeling yourself, you didn't take the offer. What you go on to do? You focus on Fury. They come back with that $100 million guaranteed. You fucked that off. So we know what happened.
Yeah.
Wait, I would want to interject about the whole at times when Wilder would be beating AJ. So I agree that now AJ is has changed as a fighter and is at least a bit more technically sound than before, from what I saw in the Usyk one. But at the same time, I think this is a bad time on the sole fact that he is in a transitioning period at the moment. It's not like he's at a set sort of area where he is fully matured. He's sort of transitioning from.
We agree. I think everybody agrees with you.
Yeah.
I think everybody agrees with you.
To another one. So I can't really say, okay, this is the perfect time right now where he's like better than before. He's at a point right now where he's not really sure what he's going to go in there and do. And that's really bad to be doing against Wilder.
I agree.
Wilder might just be like,
yeah, but to be devil's advocate, I personally think he was getting more like wasn't he getting like 40%? Even more, he was getting 100 million and then 40% split, wasn't he? Yeah, I think that one was better. It made sense. Fair enough, bro. You fucked around for 2 years. Now DAZN has came in. They're offering it. He should have taken either of the fucking offer.
That's my point. That if you think about it, the 100 mil guarantee was set. That's a set number. It's a set number. Whereas what you got before that was a percentage, and that percentage was very close to 50%. That fight between AJ and Wilder would have broke records, and you would have got 40% of that, you fucking idiot. But you focused on Fury, you fucking idiot. That deal was, to me, just looking at it like a percentage of a fight that is going to break records. And what's the percentage? It's close to 50. It's not 50, but it's close to 50. Yeah, we taking that deal.
Imagine it would have did more. Imagine it would have did more than Mayweather numbers. Imagine it would have did more than Mayweather
on God, Hyam, I think it would have. Ain't nothing like a heavyweight fight.
Yes, exactly.
Like a heavyweight fight.
Exactly.
Bro, look, how long has it been since we had an undisputed fight? Bro, ages. Imagine how much that would have done in the UK, bro. That would have went crazy, and especially the rematch in America.
Globally, it would have did over 4 million.
You could have built that. Like, if they would have followed the plan or the structure that they had, right? You could have built that as a transatlantic pay-per-view. In the UK, that bitch does 2 million.
Yeah. Easy, bro.
In America,
now
wait a minute. In America, I ain't even playing. If it don't do 800,000 at the box office, remember, because it's UK time, so we got to imagine a pay-per-view where the ring walks is around 5 or 6. But you can still bill it as a pay-per-view. And I think at that time, that bitch would have done 800,000 or close to 1 million. They would have.
Bro, let's be honest. It's going to be a fucking Saturday. Hold on.
Way more than
it was going to be a Saturday. People are staying. They're going to sit their ass at home.
Yeah,
probably
way more
do a
than
barbecue.
Bro, people would have died.
Over 1.2, 1.5 million. Easy.
Exactly.
Would have killed. The suspense would have killed people. The ring walks would have killed people. Would have been dying and like, oh shit, I can't.
I don't understand, bro. We as layman people like us, bro, we have that mindset. How do you fuck, bro? These are businessmen.
You know what it is? So, Wab, you know what it is? It's that the business guys keep trying to outsmart us. Shelly Finkel and Al Heyman keep trying to. If you want to know what it is that is at its base, like, how could you have fucked that up? That was instant money.
We're literally telling you what we want. What we're going to
exactly
pay.
Like you can't fool me. You didn't fool me into thinking that the Fury fight was more important. No, it wasn't. You didn't fool me, all right? The AJ fight was worth more money, and you keep thinking that you could fool us with these alternatives. You doing it now with Keith Thurman. I don't give a fuck about Keith Thurman.
Bro, I wouldn't fucking... That's like somebody coming to me, putting a big contract to me on the table, bro. Sign this. I'm going to give you these many clubs for the next 10 years. I'd be like, nah, bro, I got better things waiting out there for me. Bro, take it.
Let me tell you what was scary, right? That fight had all the components. Both of them had way into the 90% knockouts, undefeated, right? Both of them had great looking physique, 6'6", 6'7". This fight could have missed. Transatlantic in the biggest territories in the world, America and the UK. And you blew it. With all what you said, Julius, there. You blew
because
it.
They keep thinking
that no matter what.
They keep thinking they think this is the business guys, they think they're smarter than us, but they don't realize the parallel for this is if I go to a restaurant and I ordered a steak on the menu and you come back with fettuccine, I'm not eating that. I ordered steak. I wanted Joshua versus Wilder. I don't give a shit about Wilder versus Fury. And you thought, oh, well, this is an adequate substitute because Fury's from the UK, just like AJ. Fury has an unbeaten record, just like AJ. No, he's not. He wasn't worth the money that AJ was worth. He still isn't. Nah, fam. Anything that kid touch, it's money. But you had him like, yo, dog, it's undisputed. You're unbeaten. He's unbeaten. Both your knockout percentages is high. This is for all the marbles, all the belts. This some America versus UK type shit. Motherfuckers gonna punch their grandmother. It's wild. And
it's the Revolutionary War. It's the Revolutionary War. And if he would have took the 12.5, it would have been the most amazing shit you ever seen.
Bro,
Wilder coming back to Wembley.
And it's because they think that they're smarter than we are. They do. They really think that we'll serve them up this shit. They'll take it. We'll serve them up this old bullshit. They'll take it. Yeah. That's what it really is. They think like, bro, I don't want that. This is if I go to Cheddar's and I order a steak, I'm expecting a steak, not chicken, not half a chicken, not chicken parmigiana, not fed. No, I ordered a steak. You was on the eve of that fight, like, bro, and that fight would have fixed what Maypac broke, because a lot of people lost faith in boxing because of Maypac. I'm not knocking Floyd.
Yes, it would have.
I'm not knocking Floyd because he did his job. But what I'm saying is, for the buildup that the fight had, for it not to be an action fight, for it not to be a war, it disappointed and drew away a lot of people. Like, bro, y'all been building this shit up so we could watch this old calm ass shit.
Put respect on AJ name. AJ is the one that brought it back when he fought Klitschko. That Klitschko fight changed everything. It brought everybody back to boxing. Like, okay, we here.
Bang, like that shit looked like two motherfucking superheroes fighting. That shit looked like two superheroes fighting.
Monsters.
Without being discriminatory against Fury, he was like a piece of crap. It's like physically and shit. There's something that's stopping him from like attaining that superstar. I don't know what it is.
Because he don't look the part.
You know what it was? After Joshua beat Klitschko, right? He put out a video and he's talking about. He was very critical about that fight, saying that, "Oh, that's not boxing. It's about hit and not get hit." Well, we saw that one, and it was a load of crap. There was so many missed punches, glanced heads. Like, it was so boring. I had to, even the replay, I had to leave. Like, I couldn't watch that shit
what's it called?
again.
Oddly enough, there's a channel called like Nordic Warrior, and he was like, you know what's funny? A lot of people keep telling me like Fury's this boxing masterclass, and he pulled out on Vlad. That is not what I saw, bro. I saw a lot of fucking fouls. I saw a lot of mauling, and I saw a lot of shit that should have got somebody a lot of points deducted. That was not boxing. That was bullshit.
Bro,
and that's why nobody liked it.
Bro, the best punch he threw in that fight was fainting, because that's all he did was feint. The whole fight is one big feint. The whole fight is just one big feint. He looked like that balloon man outside a car dealership. That's all I saw.
I mean, did he ask for all that fucking real estate for that ring? Only for him to like just do all that shit like on the ropes?
Yeah.
Bro, motherfuckers act like that was Ali versus Cleveland Williams. Bitch, if you don't get the fuck out of here, B, that shit was terrible.
Bro, you know what that was? That was a heavyweight version of Junior Jones versus like what's his name? Orlando Canizales.
Bro, that looked like two octopuses fighting for a sock. That's what that shit.
Call me a casual, but I liked AJ versus Klitschko better than fucking Klitschko versus Fury.
Bro,
that shit was way more captivating.
If you talk about what's healthier for the sport, you did not need to be a boxing fan to enjoy that fight. And off of that fight, like, I hate that they try to make it sound like Wilder did something. No, he didn't. Fury, you didn't make no new fans. You came back after AJ got people watching. And what was the fight that got people watching? The Klitschko fight. That fight changed everything. That was the fight that injected life into the heavyweight division. That gave Wilder an incentive and Shelley Finkel an incentive to at least pretend that they were pursuing him. Whether they were pursuing him or they weren't, that fight is what made all of that, what sparked all of that. When you fought Klitschko, bro, motherfuckers was annihilating you on Sunday. Like, bro, that was the worst heavyweight fight I've ever seen in my life. What the fuck?
That shit everybody knows, even Deontay Wilder knows you're telling the truth, because Deontay Wilder was there. He was there at the Klitschko AJ fight. He saw.
For real though, like he did go. He did go to the fight.
All I know is
he saw it.
All I know is if Klitschko has a reputation for being one of the most boring heavyweight champions, why is his most boring fight with Tyson Fury?
Exactly right. Like, I'm gonna say like this. This what I'm gonna say. At the end of the day, that's a classic. A lot of people don't like to admit it. That shit is a classic, and it had ebbs and flows. It had thrills. It looked like AJ was gonna get knocked out, but nope, he got up and it had everything you want in a boxing match in order to sell boxing as a commodity, as a sport that you could show that to anybody, and it's a good, entertaining fight. And while Wilder versus
the what? Yeah. Okay.
No.
Yeah, well, while Wilder versus Fury was entertaining, I can't pretend that it wasn't entertaining. It had its moments. That fight didn't do for boxing what AJ versus Klitschko did for boxing. You crazy? Hell no, bruh. That shit got the whole heavyweight division going, bro. How much money got poured into the division after that, bro? They was willing to give your $2 million ass $100 million, you fucking idiot. And you blew it so that Fury could fuck you up in Vegas.
Before AJ, was there any heavyweight who was making $7 million off a title fight in the heavyweight division at that time?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, the heavyweight division was basically like on life support to some degree.
It was. Like AJ's, what saved it was that AJ already had a lot of fans from the Olympics, and people don't, which is it's fucked up that they do this to this kid, that they don't give him his flowers. He had a following big enough coming out of the Olympics that he could afford to give Charles fucking Martin $7 million. Bro, Wilder wasn't making nowhere near that kind of money at that time. No, you could look it up. You don't have to believe me. Wilder wasn't making no $7 million purses.
Making 1.5s.
Well,
twos.
Yeah, they calculated it. If you're gonna if you having a British title fight, this is what it is, a British with Dillian, and you sell 400,000 pay-per-views, then they have to pay Charles, but they have to go for it.
But it was a sound investment, and that fandom is what breathed life into the heavyweight division that the Americans didn't care. The whole Klitschko era, the Americans wasn't watching them. They was watching welterweights. They was watching welterweights.
I've always said that.
Yo, Jules.
Yeah.
You got somebody talking about some real live shit, and it's for your super chat. He talking about somebody who the future is.
I bet. Let me read these super chats because I know they piling up. Haney blocks southpaw backhands with a single shield a la Roy Jones Jr. and Antonio Tarver. Read the next super chat. Go to the next one because I know they piling up. Hold up. All right, there you go. Jack says, only challenge for Shakur is at 135 is Loma and Jermaine Ortiz. I do think Ortiz's size could make things interesting. I do think that Keyshawn in a few years will be Shakur's biggest challenge. We shall see. We shall see.
They're
he got
friends.
the ingredients.
They're not. They both said they're not going to fight each other.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Let me go down. Another super chat. Mr. Calderon says, Jules' thoughts on Shakur wanting Josh Taylor. I think that's his impetuous youth. That's what I think. Like, bro, you ain't even done nothing at 35 yet. You thinking about 40? Chill. I'm not mad at that though, because I like his ambition. That's what you want.
His answer was a lot more nuanced too. Like he said, he'd want to grow into the division. He'd rather wait and grow into 140.
Yeah, but I can't get when I see a young guy that says that he want fights. Now I'm not gonna get mad at that because that's what you want. Imagine if he was saying the opposite. Nah, I don't want to fight Josh Taylor. Nah, I'm good. Like Teofimo. Nah, I don't want that bum Barboza. Yeah, all right, motherfucker.
That's a real dangerous fight for Shakur.
Let me get it for a second. Forget Josh Taylor. You want Jack Catterall because that's who's winning that rematch.
He's not winning that.
I think he beats Josh Catterall, but I think Josh Taylor is more of a problem.
No. I'm gonna tell y'all motherfuckers what. Y'all better stop. Josh gonna win that rematch. Beats. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Why?
He sacrificed, bro. He has been consistent his whole career. That was an off night if it was anything, bro.
It was a dog.
No, I don't think it was just an off night. I think there's more into it than that.
I think Jack Catterall's a solid fighter.
I think Jack
I didn't
Catterall's
say
an
he
excellent
wasn't
fighter.
solid, but he probably looked past him.
What I'm saying, I just think that he has stylistic problems for Josh. I think he'll win again, but it'll still be competitive.
I'm gonna let Beats talk. Then I'm gonna pop shit to Jules. Go ahead, Beats.
Preparing for it. Jack Cat will be preparing for it deep into 2019.
I don't disagree, but that's my point. That you gotta look. Jack was hungry. Josh wasn't.
No, I think Jack is a little more than hungry. I think Jack is Evander versus Mike. He been dreaming about Mike.
Josh literally wasn't hungry because if you're watching,
if
you're watching his interviews before the fight, this dude was talking about eating Chick-fil-A and like eating all this dog shit while he was in camp. So he definitely wasn't hungry.
Yeah, but Josh, I think he's at his limit at the weight.
No, bro. He sacrificed. This is how I know he ready. because of everything that he sacrificed to do this. He didn't have to do that.
He gave up 2 belts, right?
He could have took that W that he didn't deserve, but he could have took that and ran. He didn't. Like, no, we need to do this again.
That don't tell you that he's
Also,
ready. That just tell you that he's stubborn.
He dropped Ben Davison too. So.
Yeah, that is a good sign. I'll say
That's
that.
a good sign. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Josh
is gonna win the rematch. I'm gonna be
It's a
honest.
good sign, but listen, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign.
Hi him. Josh is a Capricorn.
That's the super challenge waiting for you to say right here. This one right here.
No,
but you know bring that Q Virgil is king. He's coming. I mean, we're going to see, man. The welterweight division is one of those divisions that just is more of a stress point than a point of enjoyment.
Yeah, because they being held back. But right now, Virgil versus Boots, man. I like
that fight, bro.
Nah,
but
we ain't finished with the
that
Josh
shit is not
Catterall,
going to
man.
happen.
I'm sorry.
bro.
Let's go back to Catterall. Let's go back. I'm sorry.
I ain't finished with the Catterall shit just yet.
Catterall is the worst stylistic matchup for Josh, though.
Exactly.
Because Regis. Well, I remember I saw the Regis versus Josh Taylor fight, and the one thing that Regis did where he was completely outclassing Josh Taylor, there wasn't even a thought in my mind who won the round. When they were at a distance, and he popped him with the jab. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else but that.
And he was jumping in with the jab and then pivoting off of it, wasn't
it? But Josh has had a year to sit on that shit, and that bitch ass jab ain't gonna mean shit very soon.
I think the jab hurts him. I think the
Josh is winning the fight.
The
I
year
put money on it.
Of being off hurts Josh Taylor. It doesn't help him. I think Josh Taylor is a very good
think
fighter.
it helped Jack Catterall?
No, let me explain. I think that Josh Taylor is a very good fighter. And me and you argued about this. We could actually look it up. Me and you, I called into the show and me and you had a big argument about this. I don't like what I saw from Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor looked like a C-class fighter on the night.
My God, I don't like what I saw from Josh Taylor, but I'm just telling you that I watched his whole career since he was with Psycho.
I know. That's why I got upset with you. That's why I got upset.
You can't tell me that. Oh, well, he just ain't shit off of one fight.
No. How I got upset with you? This is the reason why I got upset with you, because you said that. All right, it got to be the weight gain. It got to be, the weight issue. It got to be some issue. I said, yo, dog, you wasn't saying that shit before, because Josh Taylor always looked drained on the scales every single time. He looks drained and horrible.
Wait a minute. So, if we gonna go back to that, no, wait a minute. I know what conversation you talking about.
We gonna fight.
I told you then. What most people don't want to factor into the equation is that he was coming off a leg injury. Josh is normally a moving target. Josh normally push off the foot and throw that leaping uppercut, the one that he dropped Ramirez with. And I noticed he not moving. He's not doing none of the shit that he normally do. And I said then.
I did say that. You did say that. I remember, Jules, I remember the argument.
But hold up. I'm going to tell you this, though. That was the best Catterall probably could have looked, and that's the worst Taylor could have looked. He's not. Catterall's not winning the rematch.
Fair enough.
Catterall's not winning the rematch.
But sometimes, listen, what you may not figure in is that sometimes, just sometimes, styles make fights. And the worse you look is because you're up against your opposite style. That's why the worse you look. Remember, I said a few 20 minutes ago, I said that that Joe Joyce is going to walk into Zhilei Zhang's punch and Zhilei Zhang's going to knock him out. Remember I said that 20 minutes ago?
Mm-hmm. So let me read. Wait. No Limit is insisting the interim fight is in Australia. Let's see if Tony loses his passport again. It's against either Murtazaliev and Harrison. Yo, listen, man. Tony not going to Australia, bro. He not going to.
Can I say something to Hyman?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Listen, man, I feel what you're saying, but Jules says something that's very, very smart. Timing is everything. Remember, Sugar Ray Robinson lost his first fight to Jake LaMotta, but when they ran it back, he paid him back in spades.
Yeah.
So it's not always that, Jack's on the downside. Maybe he just had an off night. Or maybe
my God, I'm just telling you.
What I'm saying to you is,
can I ask you something? Who would you pick to win, Regis Prograis or Jose Ramirez?
Regis Prograis.
Who'd you pick to win, Regis Prograis or Jack Catterall?
Regis Prograis.
Now, my man Josh Taylor went in there with that Prograis, and he was cool.
Yeah, but no,
no,
wait,
I'm not done. 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 That's the same manimal. That's the same creature that came to America, mad as a bitch, beat the shit out of Jose Ramirez. Like, you can't steal it from me. Y'all, they tried. You can't steal it from me.
All right, you right.
He
You right
wished he
about
could
that.
beat up
That's
Jose
the
Ramirez,
same
but it was no
manimal.
Cepeda.
That's the same
And
manimal.
Jose ain't even
that came
say
and
shit.
took. Yo, you said that's the same manimal that came to America and took it from Ramirez, right? Right. But Jack Catterall took it from him.
Not on no manimal shit because he was using the
Jack Catterall out. Yo, I said this to you. Listen to me very closely. I said this to you on the day. Yo, listen, in the last live. Yo, no, hold on. I said this to you. I said, I hope you remember this. I said there was a magnet in Jack Catterall's left hand that was operating with another magnet.
I remember, but I'm telling you. Wait, look, I'm telling you. Just entertain me. If the leg injury was hampering his movement, don't that make it easier for Jack to touch him with the jab?
Yes, it does. But let me tell you something. Leg injury or not, when you're standing still, if someone throws a punch at your fucking head, you slip the jab.
That's not how
Jesus Christ.
That's not what he do. Look, I
didn't slip not one jab the whole night.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying that the way that he defend or gets away from punches is not dissimilar from Pastor. You know, Pastor really don't angle his torso or slip. Don't really do that. His way is to beat his feet, move his legs, get out the way.
Well, that's poor boxing. That's poor boxing.
I'm just telling you that Josh wasn't 100%, but very soon you gonna see.
We gonna see the same guy that got completely outclassed and got his ass whooped. We gonna see him doing better at the same weight when we know.
You actually think Catterall's gonna win?
He didn't avoid the jab like in 2019 against.
Get that $200 ready. Get that $200 ready and stop playing with me, Drew.
You don't get robbed again. Watch.
I just want to fight. Catterall is gonna beat him even more convincingly.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a bold ass statement. I think Catterall. I think that's the best you're gonna get.
Even more. Jack Catterall's a sniper. He's gonna keep hitting them.
Which is why he's gonna get robbed again.
Beats no boxing. Yo, you already know.
I mean, he has the ability to do it. I just don't see it happening. That was the worst I've ever seen Taylor, and I don't think Taylor's going to be nowhere near that bad this time.
Before that, they was talking about Taylor versus Crawford. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, I got a question for you now.
Come on, baby. Let's talk that shit.
Talk your shit right now.
I never once thought he stood a chance. I don't think a lot of creatures on this planet stand a chance against Crawford, let alone Josh Taylor.
I'm not gonna lie.
What about Prograde? What about Regis? What about Regis? What about Regis against Ramirez, 147?
People was talking that real tough guy talk. He got the WBO mandatory. He gonna move up. He bigger than Crawford. He gonna do this. He gonna do that.
I don't think it's a lot of fans.
He was getting revenge from.
I don't think it's a lot of people out there that's bigger fans of Regis than me. But Crawford will fuck him up. Fuck him up.
Fuck up everybody.
You would still watch it, Joel. You can't tell me you would not watch that shit.
Cool. Oh my god.
BLK Prime, Regis versus Bud for 147. No belt on the line. That's a good fight.
I'll buy that shit.
I'll spend $75 for that.
I'm trying to book a hotel room.
Here's the fickleness of boxing fans, right? Josh Taylor, Catterall. No more Crawford talk. Boots Ennis against Karen. No more Crawford talk. People just take one performance. Everyone runs right. One performance.
But you see what but Beats, you making my point that like I'm like, look, I done seen this fighter most of his career. Like I done seen him when he was with the McGuigans. I seen all that. And I'm telling you that it's not enough one-off night off the biggest fight of your career, off an injury that I'm gonna think, Jack, I've been seeing you, bro. You not remarkable, bro. Like you not. And I see a fighter, no, he can beat you. He just looked past you before. That's what that was.
You bugging. You bugging. You're not respecting the sport.
Griffiths.
He said, yo, is that Beats and Sound Man low like that?
Like you a Jack Casserole fan, bro. You don't like
that's Beats and Sound Man low.
Like Montel Griffin. He wasn't spectacular, but he had Roy's number that night though.
No, he didn't. He only won
No,
because
he
of
did not.
Fuck out of here. Don't disrespect Roy ever like that again.
Yeah, Roy's number. Get the hell out of here.
Hey, Griffith beat James Toney twice, bro.
You gotta put yourself on mute for that one.
Yo, beats you, Buggy.
This is Ali versus Spinks, man. What was Ali?
No,
Capricorn.
No.
What's Josh Taylor? A Capricorn. This is an off night. You don't want to accept that.
No, you don't want to. You don't want to accept. No, Jules, you don't want to accept that.
I'm with you on this one,
You don't
Jules.
want to accept that. To be honest with you,
Jack
100%
Cataract
to keep it
is
a
not
buck.
going to win.
No,
Jack
listen. You don't want to accept this. You don't want to accept this. This is the one thing Jules don't want to accept. You don't want to accept that in boxing there really is no off nights, and if you do have an off night, it's detrimental to your entire career.
That's
you
very
are
true.
fucking
That can
mentally,
happen. That can be very
neurologically fucked up for the rest of your career if you have an off night in boxing.
I'm just
Yeah, but
trying to
fortunate for Taylor that didn't happen versus
Go ahead
Catterall.
and sleep on the tornado, bro. Go ahead.
It's not Ali
Hyman,
It's not Ali and Spitz. It's Ali and Norton. This is what this is. This is Ali and Norton.
It's not Ali. Bro, Jack is not that dude, bro. Y'all need to stop.
I think that's a good fighter, but I think that was the peak of Jack Catterall, in my opinion. And Beats, you gotta get closer to your phone. You on speakerphone talking from about 300,000 feet away.
Never.
You might not see another better Jack Catterall than that one. You might not. But God damn it, he whooped the shit out of your boy. He beat the shit out your boy.
He did. I thought it was a robbery, but I sure can tell you Catterall won that fight. But that was his
Yes,
peak, bro.
he won that
He
fight.
is going to lose, and we gonna be on here, and I'm gonna be like, bro, we told you, man. That was his peak,
All
bro.
right,
That's it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I would agree with you. Listen, I would agree with you if we were talking about Terrence Crawford. Josh Taylor has the mentality and the personality and everything that I believe that I love in a champion. This motherfucker want to get his fight back. He done dropped 2 belts just to get the fight back, but he's weight drained at a weight that he should not be fighting at, and he's fighting a superior boxer
and new trainer.
Superior boxer.
Come on, fam.
Come on, fam.
Mentality alone is not going to get you to win.
Wab said it. I think Taylor gonna lose Rockman Catterall. I tell you, that's what's gonna happen. Yo, Wab's dead right. That's what's gonna happen. I'm telling you, he's gonna knock Catterall out.
I didn't hear it, my man. I honestly didn't hear what you said. Can you say that one more time?
Wab Ismail said it. He said, "I think Taylor's gonna lose Rockman Catterall." That's how I feel about that fight. Catterall had his moment.
That's what I've always thought. Like, he's gonna smoke him. This ain't going to distance. He's gonna smoke him.
Hyman, let me tell you this, man. I don't like.
Go ahead, I'm listening to him.
It's a vendetta, bro.
Hey, I don't like what you said about people having an off night in boxing.
Hold on, let me hear what he's saying because I'm trying to listen to what he's saying.
Trust Taylor scored a knockout at 140.
Let me.
Yo, when the last time Jack Catterall scored a knockout at 140? We knock out Jack.
Funny as fuck.
That was funny as fuck. Let me say this though, man. You talk about there's no such thing as a bad night in boxing. What about Vladimir Klitschko when he got knocked out in the 2nd round by Corey Saunders?
That's not a bad night in boxing. That's not a bad night.
That was a very bad night in boxing. What the hell are you talking about?
I can prove it to you. That's not a bad night in boxing. Fam, that's not a bad night in boxing.
That was a bad night.
No, it wasn't. Let me explain it to you.
Was that a good night?
No, it wasn't. Yo, listen. Hold on.
It was one of the biggest upsets in
I don't give a fuck. It wasn't a bad night in boxing. Let me explain.
That was a bad night in boxing for him.
No, it was not a bad night in boxing. Let me explain to you why.
What was it? Was it a good night?
No, it wasn't a bad night in boxing. It was a normal night in boxing. In boxing, if you are not equipped, you will get found out. Boxing Beats and Rhymes can tell you all about this. If you are out there pretending to be somebody that you're not, you get found out. Hold on.
You saying if they
Klitschko fought Corey Sanders and he was not equipped and he lost. He came back.
Let me say this. Let me just say this. Let me say this.
He developed a whole new style and he went on for 10 years unbeaten.
Let me just say this. All right. We got you. Let me just say this, right? What you said about the knockout is real. because if it goes to the scorecards, Josh can kiss it goodbye. He's going to lose again.
Yep.
If it goes to the scorecards, he's lost.
Now,
he needs to knock this guy out.
Beats, I don't disagree with you because of the Ian John Lewis. I'm in agreement. He needs because of the Ian John Lewis, because of the BBOC and all of that. They're like, yo, we can't let that happen again. I'm not in disagreement. I agree. But even before Ian John Lewis was crucified and nailed to the cross, I said Josh is gonna knock him out. Like, y'all bugging. Like, one fight, he just ain't shit no more. Like I said, he
there ain't no bad night in boxing.
Bro, but how often do knockouts?
Y'all bugging. There ain't no bad night in boxing.
How often do knockouts happen?
You said there's no such thing as a bad night in boxing. Like these are robots.
Listen, I'm gonna give you a fight. I'm gonna give you a fight.
R2D2 in the ring, man.
Listen, I'm gonna give you a fight.
A lot of people did not think Lennox was going to do that.
Really?
A lot of people did not think Lennox was going to do that to Rockman in that rematch, but he did it.
Yeah, there's no bad nights in boxing. The cream always finds his way to the top.
Did you say there's no such thing as a bad night in boxing, bro? They human beings. This ain't R2D2 in the ring, bro.
Listen. The cream always finds his way to the top. A bad night in boxing, if there ever was a bad night in boxing, is when a fighter that's not really on point beats a fighter that's better than him. That's a Buster Douglas Mike Tyson. That's a Buster Douglas Mike Tyson.
But
I don't think it was a bad night.
Listen, hold on.
I think Jack Catterall gives a lot of people problems.
Jeff Lacey is a good night in boxing.
You don't let nobody
Jeff
talk. Hold
Lacey
on.
versus this guy is a good night in boxing. You know what I'm talking about.
Son, it's the same way. Look,
You know what I'm talking about. Jeff Lacey versus
Unbiased said it best. Unbiased said it best. These are not robots, bro. These are people, and people have off nights. You making it sound like they robots that ain't not never that they go.
I am.
He has R2D2 up in his joint.
Yeah, I am because they've been doing it. Because they've been playing
No, what you're saying, though, Drew, it's some real shit. No. Let me reply to that. Right? Let me reply. What you're saying is some real shit. Boxers have off nights. Like Ali had 3 off nights with Ken Norton. And have a second off night.
All right, bro. I just know who won on paper. All right, since you want to do that. All right, he won on paper, and all I'm telling you is this is not that. The Josh Taylor that I saw is not the one I've been watching since he was with Cyclone.
Well, Josh Taylor won on paper.
Yeah, but
listen though, hold on. Because I think I'm not trying to be a pussy. Like I'm not trying to be a pussy centrist, but I think it's true that like I think Josh, it was his homecoming and that shit got to him. The moment got to him. But at the same time, I think Jack Catterall's style is gonna give anybody
exactly
because he's just hard to get.
Okay, but let me get 1 second. Let me get 1 second. 1 second. Just 1 second.
Jack is the style. You got the style.
Hold on. No, y'all right, but I gotta clarify. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
No, listen.
We all trying to talk over each other. We got
it's not that Jack is like some special fighter. No, but his style is just hard to beat. It's like a tough steak. You can do whatever you want to it. A tough cut of meat is a tough cut of meat.
I agree.
No matter how long you cook it for. Like
I agree with you 100%.
Y'all giving competitive fight.
Nah, you got to give him his credit. He outclassed the fucking pound for pound fighter. He outclassed the pound for pound fighter.
Let me get the mic.
He got lucky. He's a lucky motherfucker that night. But that's not gonna happen in the rematch.
Yo, let me break this down to you. Let me break this down to you. No, one sec. Hold on, cool up. Go. I saw Jack Catterall fight O'Hara Davis, and the fight was level. Mm-hmm. It was level, and Josh Taylor knocked O'Hara, stopped him, right? Yeah. And it's basically Jack is not great. He's not great.
Jack is a pure boxer.
He's got all what it takes, though.
But Jack is not great, but O'Hara Davis has a different style from Josh Taylor.
Yeah, it's the style. Josh Taylor is a boxer puncher.
It's not an 8-8 comparison.
Jack Catterall is a pure boxer, fam.
I don't think Jack Catterall is going to be this world beater, but I don't think
it's Roy Jones. Roy Jones against Tarver.
Listen, because I'm giving Josh his credit. If Josh
Roy Jones against Tarver is the example, right?
He is not
Roy Jones against Tarver is not the best example.
Don't talk about my man Roy Jones, man. Don't talk about my man Roy Jones right now. Don't do that.
Yeah, but Roy Jones is not a good comparison.
Do y'all hear yourselves? So Jack Catterall is the magic man now, really?
No, I'm just saying he's a pure boxer that got Josh Taylor number. All I'm saying is he's a pure boxer.
I'm not saying he's the magic man. I'm making the example of somebody having your number.
Hold on 1 second. I want to say something real quick, and this is true. And I was looking at the chat. And shout out to my brother Grim Reaper, because I'm the Grim Reaper, so I got a brother out here. But Awab is really making really great points, in my opinion. He said that in regards to the Catterall, what's the name fight, it was basically like a combination of everything. Because Catterall's a tough opponent, but what he said was coming off a layoff, an injury, and he was being a party animal and having that home fight. So all those elements was a perfect storm. We're not going to discredit Catterall. Catterall is an excellent fighter but it was like a perfect storm. You got a fighter coming off an injury, not being on point. This fight ain't going to get that same result.
For like 2 seconds. Hold on, listen. I knew the fight wasn't going to be easy because Josh Taylor was on behind the gloves. You can go pull up the videos right now. He's in camp and he's talking about, I'm eating Chick-fil-A every single day. Like I already knew the shit.
Julio, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just going to ask you a question. Please, nobody say nothing except for Julio. Julio, do you think he's eating Chick-fil-A now?
No, I think he's fired up. He got a new trainer. He's with Joe McNally, who doesn't put up with that shit. He's training Liam Smith. That's how you know he's a serious guy.
All right.
He's gonna be fired up. But I think that Jack Catterall
that is just jab ain't. I'm just. Can I just say, look. All right. I'm gonna say something nice about Jack. He has a nice haircut. All right. So I did that. There you go, Jack. No, wait. Look. There you go, Jack. All right. Cool. Jack is cool. Jack is all right.
Jack. So Jack put up the 200.
Jack is not the caliber of fighter that Taylor is. And yes, it happens. Sometimes you look past a guy and you fucking pay for it. It happens. That's what happens.
See, I agree. He's not the same level, but I don't think that Josh is going to knock him out like in 3 rounds his next fight. It's going to be a chess match.
Higher level than Josh Taylor?
I think it's going to be a chess match again, and I think Josh is going to end up nailing him. Pause.
Technically, is Jack Catterall a better fighter than Josh Taylor? No. I think he is.
No, he's a more fundamental fighter, but that doesn't mean he's better.
No. I think he's all right, let's say fundamentally, technically, I think he's a better, more
and I don't agree with that. I don't agree. I seen, look, like I said.
What did you see in the fight, Jules?
This is what I just told you what I seen. Yo, listen.
You saw this nigga get outpointed every single minute of the fight.
Listen, the dude could not push off his foot. That's the foot that was injured. He normally does that. He'll normally throw a leaping hook or a leaping uppercut. And I'm seeing, this dude is wild stationary, and he
did say that
He's not moving right, and he keep getting hit with this jab. I don't think that's going to be a problem.
But he wasn't getting just hit with the jab, Jules. He was getting dismantled. He was getting hit with both hands.
He didn't get fucking dismantled. It went to the cards.
He was. He looked like a C-class fighter. It was looking a little Arturo Gotti out there.
Wow, this is about Arturo Gotti. Why he said he
was looking bad. Yo, go back and watch the fight.
Quick point to
that's why I had to go back and watch the Zilly Zhang.
Let me just make a quick point.
I couldn't believe that Hergovic even won the fight.
Let me just make a quick point. One thing you haven't factored in, Julius, right? You've told me everything that Josh can make adjustments. You haven't told me anything that Jack can do better.
Exactly.
There's two people.
All right, now here's the thing. I don't think that Jack is going to do anything better. I think he's going to go in there and try to fight the same fight that he fought before, because he figures if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I had his number before, I'll get him again. And what he don't realize is you're going to get a better version of Josh Taylor, but we already seen the best version of you.
I think he gets the worst version. I think he gets the worst version of Josh Taylor. I think he gets the worst version of Josh Taylor. He doesn't get a better version of Josh Taylor.
You'll see.
Josh Taylor did it the way even longer. It's a fucking year. Hold on. You can't just listen to Jules, man. You got to fight when Jules and argue when Jules.
Talk that shit.
You can't just listen to him.
Go ahead, talk that shit.
I'm going to talk that shit. Yo, Josh Taylor, hold on, Jules, because I'm going to argue with you and you can't beat my argument.
I beat your fucking argument. Josh Taylor gonna fuck him up. Fuck him up.
This is my argument. Hold on, let me finish my argument. My argument is, what the fuck are you talking about? You're dealing with a Josh Taylor at 140 over a year ago. Now the same.
When the last time Jack Catterall fought Hyam? When the last time
he got outclassed and beat up?
Did I miss it?
He got outclassed and beat up a year ago at 140, where he was struggling to make
now
he's a year later.
Bullshit. Come on with this bullshit.
Hold on, fam. It's not going to be easier for him to make the weight.
It's gonna be so easy, bro. It's gonna be
it's not
so
going to be
easy.
easier for him
Street
to make
Fighter
the weight
easy
now.
mode.
He going to
Street
get
Fighter
more
easy mode.
outclassed.
Yo,
than
he gonna make
outside
Jack
on.
look. He gonna make Jack look like he don't even belong in there.
now,
with him, bro.
Hold on. See,
now,
this is the
He ain't
problem with that
now
belong in
he's
there.
argument, though.
ego.
I'm telling
Now
you,
he's full
yo.
of
Hold on,
ego.
bro.
He
The problem
gonna
with that
fucking
argument
lose
is that
this
it's
fight.
purely
And
speculative.
I'm
We don't
putting up my
know if
200.
Josh Taylor's going to be the same guy because we haven't seen it yet. But we know that when he is at his best, he is the best 140 pounder.
And you
That's
know,
a fact.
No, we don't
Here's-
know that. We
That's a
don't know
fact.
that.
No, he's the only
He
guy.
was
He's the only
tooth
guy
and
who beat
nail with
Regis.
Regis. He was tooth
Here's
and
the
nail
thing.
with Regis. We do
Okay,
not
and
know
he
him to be
won.
the best
And he
Am I
140
won.
sensing a little bit
So
of
objectively,
hatred
he at
towards
his
a
best,
fighter,
he is the
particular
best
fighter?
140 pounder.
He's not.
Bro, are
Here's
we?
the thing.
Wait. Are we
Here's the
forgetting
thing,
that
man.
Josh Taylor came off a knee injury in that fight?
That's what he
Bro.
forgetting. I'm trying to
Are
remind
we
him.
forgetting that?
And
That's what he forgetting. I'm trying to remind him.
What I'm trying to say to you, I'm not forgetting that. What I'm trying to say to you is that knee injury or not, you could still slip a fucking punch. This fucking guy was walking in there like a sea clay. He looked like Edgar Berlanga on the night.
You're gonna see
Get
when
the
the
fuck out of
leaping when the leaping uppercut of Glasgow touched that man chin, you gonna see. Because he didn't do none of his Josh Taylor shit. The leaping hooks, the leaping uppercut, the bounce, the in and out. He didn't do none of that. That's normally how he manages the distance. He couldn't manage the distance, so he couldn't get around
Y'all
the jab.
upset,
Bro,
y'all upset that Jack
watch
Catterall is looking
watch
like Jay
five Josh
Opatai
Taylor
out here.
fights.
Y'all upset.
Hey,
It's not my fault,
hey,
baby.
Hyman, let me
It's not
remind
my
you
fault,
something.
baby.
This whole time, who's been under the microscope, Catterall or Jack Taylor? Because if I remember
Jack
exactly.
Taylor?
So why are we?
Josh Catterall and Jack Taylor.
Yeah, I said Taylor.
Nobody's been talking
listen, he making listen. This what you missing. He making a valid point that if you Jack Catterall right now, right? You feeling good and you feeling good. You like the fake people's champ. You got that crazy haircut. You looking crazy. You feeling good. If you Josh Taylor, you mad than a bitch. People saying shit about you. They threatening your sister. They was threatening the sister. All type of shit. You mad than a bitch. You done had a whole year to be mad than a bitch. He gonna unleash the Capricorn angle.
Yeah, but it's not the Josh Taylor that you're talking about.
But
I
also-
agree with everything
also,
you
I don't
said.
think
Oh,
Jack-
yo,
I don't
Jules,
think
I
Jack-
agree with
hold
everything
on.
you said. But the
I don't
Josh
think Jack-
Taylor that
bro.
you're talking about, he doesn't exist anymore. That Josh Taylor is
You
gone.
saying he's done? Are you saying he's done?
Bro, that was
No,
one
I'm not
bad
saying he's
fight.
done as a fighter. I'm
Come
saying he's
on,
done at
nah,
140.
we're not
I don't
doing
know
this.
a single person.
He's done at 140. Yo, Josh Taylor is
140.
literally 3 inches taller than Terrence Crawford.
Bro,
What the
he
fuck
figured
y'all
out this
talking
argument,
about?
bro.
The one undisputed at 140. What you
Hold on,
mean,
though.
done?
I don't think
He's
that
done
Jack is
at
the
that
type of
weight. He's
guy.
a growing boy.
Bro, can I say this?
He's a growing boy.
Go ahead, Michael. Go ahead, Michael. Go ahead, Michael. Go ahead, Michael.
Listen,
He
man,
said he
you
a
can't
growing
off
boy.
of one bad
He is.
performance. You can't say that this fighter is done and shit like that. This guy was a undisputed champion, bro. That takes balls.
Yo, God, with
that takes
respect,
balls and
with
skill
respect
Oh,
to
set.
you
you,
gotta let people talk.
yo, what
bro.
you saying?
He didn't
What you
finish.
saying is legit. Hold on, what he's saying is legit, and he's not wrong. For me to scoop up Josh Taylor's whole fucking career in one fight
He
is
beat
very
everybody at
unfair.
that weight.
It's very unfair and it's very
Jack gonna be able to
unintelligent.
do this
All
bullshit.
this team is slept for
No,
Jack
no,
Catterall,
he's
bro.
right.
That
He's
bullshit
right.
ain't gonna work. That
What
bullshit
I'm
ain't
saying
gonna
is
work.
this. What I'm saying is this. In the history of the sport of boxing, we find out that a fighter gets shot or a fighter is old or a fighter is washed up at a
You
weight.
saying that off of one fight though?
Y'all not letting me
Oh,
finish, man.
bullshit.
Within
saying
one
that off
fight.
of one
Yo,
fight?
hold on,
Off of one fight,
fam.
throw the whole fight
Yo,
away.
within one
Off of
fight,
one
we
fight,
find
throw
out
the
that
whole
the
fight
guy
away.
is
Fuck it,
washed
he ain't
up.
do
How
nothing.
many Floyd Mayweathers are in this sport?
Yo, hold on. We
Just let him
find out
finish.
that we as boxing fans are the last ones to know. We find out that a fighter is actually shot or fucked up or whatever after just one fight. We watch one fight and we say, "Oh my God, he looks so hard."
Bro, no, don't do
we
no.
don't
Wait
do
a minute,
that.
wait a minute. Don't do that because see, this is the thing. If I use your logic, oh well, Mayweather must have been shot in the Castillo fight. He must have been shot.
No, that's
It's not
young.
one fight
That's young and that's boxing
Hold on.
style.
It's just
What
as
I-
likely
that's-
that people have
Jules,
bounce
you know
back
that wasn't
performances all
fair
the
what you
time.
just said because you're
It's
reaching.
just as likely. It happens just as often in boxing that
No,
the
you're
rematch,
reaching.
the guy who
Listen.
does poorly wins
Yo,
emphatically.
guys, we're all
I
boxing
said it,
fans
yo,
here.
listen. It's the funny shit.
Go
I
ahead.
said, look, this reminds me. You know what this really is? This is Parker Chisora. Now, in the first Parker Chisora fight, I said, and I feel he deserved to win. I don't know if y'all agree. I feel Derek won the first fight.
Derek won the fight. Yeah,
I feel Derek won, and in the second fight, I said Parker gonna win the fight. Parker gonna win that fight. He's more capable of making adjustments. Now,
was that the one fight where Derek looked old? Now it changed. Something changed.
But he ain't all right. But still, it happened, right? And all I'm saying is, you acting like Josh can't make adjustments, and that's crazy.
I'm saying all I'm saying is this. I'm saying that. I'm not saying Josh is a shot fighter or he's garbage or
why
he's
you
trash.
talking about shot
Listen,
fighters?
hold on. Damn, let me. I'm not saying that Josh is a bad fighter or any of that. I'm saying that at this weight, it's over.
He got
he
one
cannot,
more.
Listen, just let me be clear with what I'm saying. Then y'all can attack me. Y'all can take my head off in 2 seconds. Let me finish. Let me just finish. Y'all can take my head off in 2 seconds. Josh Taylor at this weight has met his limit. It's over. He needs to or it's going to be constantly having problems.
And if he wins, are you going to admit he was as good as we said?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Okay.
And I'll pay the $200. Just so y'all know, I'll pay the $200 to anybody on the panel that bet it. Let's go. Stop playing with me.
I'll do $100 on that bet. I'll do 100.
You do 100? I'll take
I'll
that.
do
What's your
100.
name, fam? What's your name, just so I know?
Michael.
All right, Michael. My name is him. My name is him. I'll take that $100 bet. And the bet, just to be clear, the bet is that Josh Taylor beats Catterall in the rematch. My bet is that Catterall beats Josh Taylor in the rematch.
I'll take that.
All right, Hayam.
Go ahead. I'm listening, Jules.
I'll take that. I'm glad
I'll take that bet with you, fam. I'm shaking your hand right now. You don't see it, but I'm shaking your hand.
Josh got one more, Hayam. Got one more.
He got one more in him for 140, is what you're saying?
He got one more.
I'm telling you that he don't. Let me ask you a question.
Let me
ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question. 5. I don't know how many years it is. Let's just say it's 5. I don't know what it is. How many years has Josh Taylor been at 140, and what age was he when he got to 140? That's a good question, fam.
Look,
Okay,
I'm not.
When did he
No. Look. It's a good
question. I said, what age? How many years has he been at 140, and what age was he when he got to 140?
I think he debuted in 2014.
What age is he now?
Ain't he in his mid-30s? Ain't he like 32?
Yeah.
He's 32.
So how the fuck are you 5'10" at 140 pounds and you're 32
How
years
has Charlo been doing it, bro? That shit is not no motherfucking Bermuda Triangle. Charlo been doing that. Jamel been at 54 for a millennium.
I mean, not bad example, Earl Spence.
Jamel Charlo might be a smaller dude naturally.
Bro, all you need is a nutritionist, and then you'll be all right.
Nah,
He's a twin brother,
a
bro.
nutritionist doesn't negate nature.
Brother. His
A
brother is
nutritionist doesn't go against nature.
We already had the frame versus weight argument, bro.
Josh Taylor has the frame on him to fight at 154 or middleweight.
The other shit is you know. See, this is what's weird. If you want to make it about intangibles, which is what you're doing, and you making it about the weight, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. That's the intangible that you're going with.
The reason why I did that.
Now, hold on.
Hold on. I wanted to go to your point.
That's not the intangible that I'm going with. The man was coming off an injury. That's the facts.
Wait. Can I say this? Hayam.
Go ahead.
Are you forgetting that this man went from 4 belts to 1 belt just to prove that he could beat this man?
Can I put on a different?
I agree with you. I agree with you. That shows determination. That shows that he's for real.
Wait, Jules. I got a perspective for you.
Hold on. Let this guy talk. This guy's saying something.
Okay, and it's one that's gonna go with him. He might like this one. Jules might hate this one, right? Maybe that dude got Josh's number, bro.
Yeah.
The best dudes in the world don't got your number.
Maybe you standing in front of a superior fighter, motherfucker.
I don't think what's it called? I don't think what's his name? I'm trying to look through his name right now. I don't think Mayorga's a good fighter, bro. Honest to God, I don't. But he had Vernon Forrest's number.
Yep.
I don't think Vernon Forrest was the greatest fighter in the world.
But he has Shane Mosley's number.
Nah, I'm gonna tell y'all what's making. Listen. See, this is the problem. You know what's really making y'all say that? Don't say nothing. I'm gonna tell y'all what's making y'all say that. The amount of time it's taken to see the second fight. You're building up Jack Catterall in your mind and to be more than what he actually is. That's what y'all do.
Building up Josh Taylor in your mind. You building up Josh Taylor in your mind, man.
No, Julius, I'm watching.
He was the undisputed.
This is what I'm doing. I'm looking at his style. And his technique. He's a good fighter, man. He's just gonna give a lot of people problems.
Who? What? Say that again, Sam. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Go ahead.
Let me get.
I heard. Go ahead, Beats.
Right now, a lot of you are not giving the full narrative. We're saying about a rematch. It was Josh who didn't want the rematch. He was avoiding it, and then the pressure got to him so much that he felt compelled to do it. Right? He's been avoiding the fight for a little. He was.
Bro.
Tell him,
He gave up
Bro.
the belts. He gave up the
3 belts.
Yo, Julius is trying to hide this $200 from me.
Right, you're saying
Julius is faking, yo. Yo, Julius is faking, yo.
I got kids, you motherfucker. I ain't bet no $200. I got kids, motherfucker. I got
I'll take your money,
Julius.
I already told you. I'll take your money. That's easy money for me.
That's not true.
I'm giving away the money. I'm trying to contribute to the channel.
I gotta address Beats' shit. First, he didn't get stripped of the IBF. He vacated it. Look it up. He vacated it. Then the WBA came around and he did the same thing because he knew I'm not going to be around for none of this because I think he said he was going to get married in the fall or some bullshit. He vacated.
Jules, he's Scottish. Jules, he's Scottish. What the fuck does that matter? He's Scottish. It doesn't matter.
It does matter. It does matter. It does matter.
He's a man of pride.
Yo, hi him. Fuck it.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you
200, Hayam.
I got about 200. What's good?
That's easy money. That's easy money.
Beats got a question.
Let me ask you this. Was Josh Taylor saying, I'm not going to give you a rematch? I'm not going to give you... He was saying that for a little while.
He did say that. He did. I'm not disagreeing with you, but this is what I see, right? This is what I see. Feel free to disagree with me. This is just for Beats. Nobody talk. Nobody interject. This is for Beats. This fight has been turned into a sore spot for him. That's the problem. And that's dangerous for Jack. That's not dangerous for Josh. Jack is riding high right now, feeling good right now. You know what I mean? That's where he at psychologically. Josh ain't got nothing but bad intentions right now.
No, let me counter that.
Beautiful.
Right? Let me counter that, right? Jack Catterall still hasn't got his due. He didn't get them straps. He was very disappointed, right? Jack Catterall still has a lot to play for, right? And he's still, like, a lot of people are thinking what you're thinking, that Josh is going to beat him. The pressure is still on Josh Taylor. The pressure's not on Jack Catterall yet.
Now, let me respond to Beats. Now, let me respond to Beats. High pressure situations. Who won the World Boxing Super Series?
That was before he met.
Wait. High pressure situations on the road in America as the away fighter who became undisputed champion.
Jules, you can't compare it. You can't compare it.
Why not?
I tell you why.
Why not?
Because
pressure.
Nobody, because Josh Taylor is a little boy from Scotland that made all of this amazing shit happen. This fucking guy is amazing, and everybody knows he's amazing. Now there's doubt on his name. Nobody expected him to do any of that shit. He walked through all of that shit. He's a fucking monster.
Y'all on y'all flavor of the month shit.
Now,
Jack showed y'all
the odds are against him. Everybody saw his floor.
Bitch ass jab.
You come on. Everybody saw his floor.
Hayam. Fuck his jab. Fuck his jab.
Man, you
fuck his jab.
Go ahead, fam. I'm listening. Go ahead, fam. I'm listening.
His jab.
I ain't talking to Drews because Drews don't want to bet no money. Drews faking out here.
Hayam. How many people won a title fight knocking somebody down twice? Because they were trying to screw his ass on the card. Don't tell me he wasn't in no high.
And y'all think my man can't handle pressure.
You do have a point, and I know he can handle pressure. What I'm saying is that this is a different kind of pressure. This is different. He was never expected to be. You
building up Jack Catterall to beat Thanos and
yo, you listen, Jules. You the leader of the world. You the leader of the whole division. You the guy. Everybody knows you the guy. You got all the belts, and this one guy whooped your ass in front of the whole world. You got a fucking decision. Bro. You got a decision that you shouldn't have got. Now it's time to fight him again.
That shit
don't you got butterflies in your stomach?
That shit wasn't no motherfucking Lennox and McCall or Lennox and Rockmont. So stop.
It was worse. Let me tell you how I scored the fight. Let me remind you how I scored the fight. I scored the fight.
How many
I scored the fight 8-4, and he dropped Josh in the fight. Get the fuck out of here.
You gonna see.
What? That's how I scored the fight.
You gonna see. You gonna see.
You gonna see 12 more rounds of Josh.
Yo, dog.
Go ahead,
fam. I'm listening. I'm listening, fam.
Real quick, okay? Be honest. Don't be biased. All right?
I'm
Wait. Please. You've seen like multiple Josh Taylor fights, right?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me that night versus Jack Catterall, that was.
Yo,
Josh
get that
Taylor.
finger out the way, man.
No, it didn't look like Josh Taylor. It looked like
then there you
figment
go.
of Josh Taylor's imagination. It did not look nowhere near like Josh Taylor.
Then there you go. That's your answer.
I agree with you, but hear me out. I've watched so many fights. I've watched people that look fabulous. They go in there against a technician or a skilled fighter, and they look like a fucking C-class fighter. Sometimes that actually happens. You feel me?
If Catterall was as good as you make him out to be, we would have seen this nigga already, bro.
No, everybody. Yo, let me tell you something. For that statement, I got something for that statement. For that statement, I'm gonna introduce you to Mauricio Lara.
That doesn't count.
You didn't know who Mauricio Lara was. He walked in and knocked out.
So now you're comparing Catterall to Lara?
No.
I haven't heard it all.
What I'm comparing is you don't know somebody and they walk in and knock out the boss. Somebody that you have never heard of walks in and knocks out the boss.
How are we supposed to see that? That doesn't count.
He knocked out Josh Warrington.
Listen, let me read the super chats. The people have spoken. Country says, y'all wildin'. Taylor going to win that rematch. Motherfucking Luis Puente says, Taylor KO's Caterpillar in 6 rounds. You heard that shit, you motherfucker? You heard that shit?
Yo, bet the fucking money then. Bet the fucking money.
I'm betting you. I'm betting you.
Stop playing with me, yo.
Jules, you might have to.
I took you up that.
I'll tell you what, man. You know what the issue is, right? Jack's just had too much time to study him.
Yes.
And what Josh been doing? Jerking off?
Not focusing on that.
I'm just telling you. Look, I'm just telling you. It's a two-way street. Now I'm gonna ask you a question, Beats. Who do you think walked away from that fight feeling bitter and angry?
Both.
I think it was Josh more than Jack.
Kind of both.
I agree with you. I believe it was Josh. Who really has something to prove here, Josh or Jack?
Jack.
It's hard to say. Both of them
I think Jack.
from 2 different perspectives.
Remember, didn't Jack take step aside money and he was waiting in the wings forever?
It wasn't no step aside. It wasn't no step aside.
There was some type of step aside.
No, it wasn't, because he didn't fight nobody, and he knew he wasn't gonna fight nobody, which is why he vacated the IBF.
There was a step aside.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
You sure for the Ramirez fight?
I'm positive. What you mean for the Ramirez? The
Ramirez
fight was before that.
No, that's what I'm saying. For the
Ramirez fight was before the Cataract fight.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
Yeah, Catterall did step aside for that fight.
It's easy to know who has more to prove. You're talking about somebody who sacrificed 3 belts. People train 20 plus years just to obtain 1, just to get 1 belt. This guy sacrificed 3. He's coming in here to kill this motherfucker, bro, and that's it.
Bro, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to message
Antonio Tarver to come kill.
I'm going to message. Listen. I'm going to message Josh Taylor on Instagram. I'm going to message him. I'm going to tell him after the fight, I want him to say, fuck you, Chaim, bro. Fuck out. You'll knock that motherfucker. I don't know why you got to do this. You trying to build a lot of money. You trying to build Jack. You trying to build Jack up to be some shit. You trying to build Jack up to be some shit right now. You trying to build Jack up to be some shit that he ain't. Because he ain't all that.
You owe me $600.
Motherfucker turned him into
$200. Listen, you owe me $200 on Jack Catterall to beat.
Nah, son. It's one night.
I'm not joking, bro.
You owe me bread, fam. Just pay the bread, fam.
Listen, bro.
Stop your bullshit. Listen, bro. You say you from Harlem. Do what's right,
bro. Here's my last take on it. Yeah, here's my last take on it. Josh can win the fight, but this is going to be a tough fight.
Possibly.
Controversial one.
Possibly. Look, this is what I see. Nobody say nothing. This is what I see. I see I see Josh getting out there off to a fast start because he got something to prove. That's Jack's best bet to do something major. But I don't see Jack getting into his groove because of that fast start. He's going to keep coming after him, and I believe he's going to stop him round 6, 7.
He ain't got no
You
power.
think Taylor's going to stop Josh?
No power lift at 144.
I think it's going to be Charlo Castano too. I think he's going to pick away at him. He's going to pick away at Jack, and then eventually he'll probably get him out there. Or just
that's a very good
decision. But it's not going to be easy, bro, because Jack Catterall's hard to get clean.
That's a very good analogy.
He's going to be hard
You
for anybody.
know what the main thing is? One is that he has a really fucked up haircut. That's the first thing. Jack does. Like the
You
shit
said it was nice, like
the shit
20
look
minutes
like a
ago.
helmet. And it spins. That's the first thing. The second thing is you're thinking about this too hard. The question is actually more simple. Y'all turning all these scenarios and shit when your dog is simple. You look past this guy. You're better than that. But you look past this guy. That's all it is.
That's not it.
All it
You're
is.
not looking close enough. You're not looking close enough. You're not looking at the
building Jack Catterall and Antonio Tarver now, really, fam?
Nah, you're not looking at the absolute lapses in all of his defense, all of his offense. He had lapses, dog.
It's just
He
being
had
a boogeyman
lapses
to
in
something. No one can compare the resumes to Flynn. I mean, when you look at
I'm not comparing resumes.
When you look at Tarver, right? Fucking Glenn Johnson ran past him. Hopkins floored him and ran past him. But yet you're knocking out
Roy Jones.
Right?
But wait a minute, but you know what that? But look, and I'm not trying to discredit Antonio, but we know damn good and well that cutting all that muscle beat Roy.
Yeah, we know that.
No.
Let's not lie, bro. Prime Roy Jones.
You can't get upset at the person that says Tarver was a better fighter.
Roy didn't just. It wasn't just the weight. Roy keeps his hand low against southpaws.
Look,
it's technical
you can't get mad at the person that says Tarver was good on the night and he was a better fighter.
All right, look. Let me read the super duper Uber chats. I don't care if you put Jack Reacher in there. He gets KO. Fucking right. Anybody named Jack getting it. I got 50 on Taylor, and he takers.
I'm here, baby. I'm here.
Taylor's not knocking Jack Catterall. That's nonsense.
To put it simply, bro.
But late, not in the 6th round.
On a bad night.
Yo, Jules, you owe me money on
Listen,
Taylor.
bro.
You owe me money on
bro.
And another one, Jamel Charlo versus who we was talking about?
Brian Cassano.
No, we were saying Jamal Charlo versus Chris Eubank. You owe me money on that. I went for you.
How you figure that?
I went for Eubank. I went for I'm just giving you the betting recap. I'm giving you the Dwyer news. You owe me money on Chris Eubank Jr. versus Jamal Charlo. I bet you 200.
That fight would never happen. What the
that
fuck?
fight ain't gonna happen.
That fight would never happen. I said that.
You put it on fake bets, bro. Come on.
If I owe you money for Charlo versus wait. If I owe you money for Charlo versus Eubank, then you owe me money for Superman versus Juggernaut. Fucking Wolverine versus Jackman.
Terminator versus Robocop, bro. Y'all fake owing people
shit.
money, bro. Come
you was
on.
popping mad shit.
What we doing out here?
Eubank versus Charlo. I keep a count.
That shit is not gonna happen, bro.
I think it's just trying to get paid, yo.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to contribute to the channel. Yo, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I didn't know who I was gonna pick between Joyce versus Zilly Zane. I didn't know who I was gonna pick. I sent you the super chat.
Oh, yo, did we talk about that fight? I wasn't here.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Though.
But
I'm about to shut it down, B. I need my Walking Dead, B. I need my Walking Dead.
I just wanted to see who you picked. You picked Joe Joyce, so I was like, damn, this might be a chance I can actually bet Jules. So let me see if I can.
Bro, if you really
with betting,
I'm going to tell you what. No, I'm going to tell you what. Stop fucking. Listen, stop fucking around. Stop fucking around. I'll put on that because it's close. I'm not betting generous. I bet 50 cash. Joe Joyce knocks him out.
All right,
that's what I got. That's what I got. Don't change the bet. Don't say a bunch of shit. You either taking the bet or you not.
I'll take the bet. You say 50 cash.
50 cash.
So you said 50 cash on what exactly?
Joe Joyce knockout.
Okay, so if Joe Joyce goes to decision, you lose.
All right.
That's the truth.
That's the truth. You don't want to bet. You don't want to bet.
No, I'm betting.
You don't want to bet.
My nigga, I'm betting, but you gotta be precise with your words. You gotta be precise with your words. You both educated young men.
Let me restructure the word.
Yeah, restructure that shit.
Joyce to win any fashion. Joyce.
I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to raise you your bet.
All right.
I'm willing to raise you your bet.
You don't want to raise your bet. You don't want to bet. You don't want to bet. You keep adding shit.
No. I'm willing to raise your bet to $100. The same exact bet.
Bruh, take the fucking bet and shut the fuck up.
No, I want to take. I take your bet either way. I take your bet either way, but I'm trying to control.
Okay, so he's taking the 50. He's taking the 50. Simple.
I take the 50. Fuck the 50. 50 is bullshit. I can fucking send it to you.
But Chaim, you owe me 200. You owe me 200 when that fight happens.
No, nigga.
You owe me 200. I'm not playing. You owe me 200 for Jack Catterall getting knocked the fuck out, bro. You owe me 200.
No, our bet was that you said that Josh Taylor is going to beat Jack Catterall.
Yes.
Okay, so we're not talking about knockouts. So
it doesn't matter. He wins either way.
As long as he wins. Okay, I'm willing to take that bet. I'll take
easy.
$200 bet on that.
That's easy money on me. That's easy.
I believe that.
I don't know why you
got. Hold on. What you got for me for Zilly Zhang and Joe Joyce? What you got for me for Zilly Zhang and Joe Joyce, tough guy?
I have to think about that fight. To be honest with you, bro, I don't know yet.
I'm willing to put up another 200 with you. I'm willing to put up another 200. I pay my bets. I'm not fucking around. I pay my bets. Every single bet. I don't give a fuck. I cash app you, whatever.
I have to think about that fight.
Hey, look, motherfuckers. I need to watch my Walking Dead, okay? Fuck. You motherfuckers. Now I'll see y'all. Listen, I'm going live. Tomorrow for the Eubank and Smith. I do have Chris Eubank Jr. knocking out Liam Smith. I think he's too big, too strong. Liam's too aggressive. And that's
you're bugging on that.
You said knock him out.
Look, Chris is all right. At minimum,
listen, you're more likely going to hear an apology from Sky about homophobic language.
Right. Let me say this. At minimum, I have Chris winning the fight. You can't just like Liam. He got hurt by Anthony Fowler at 54. If you don't think Chris could hurt him, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Chris could punch. He took out Abby Yildirim years ago, way easier than
Abby Yildirim. No way.
I got Chris Jones Jr.
Abby Yildirim.
Bro, but that was listen to me. That was at 68, my guy. And that was years ago.
But you hiding, Jules. You hiding.
I tell you what,
real.
Eubank is winning, man. Eubank's winning.
No, but keep it real. You hiding. Be about it. Is he knocking him out? Or is he fucking beating him on points?
Motherfucker, I'm picking him to winning. That's all the fuck you need to know.
No, I need to know because I want to bet.
I'd pick Chris on points before anything, but I got Liam Smith anyways.
You got Liam
Smith? I got Liam Smith split decision.
I got Liam Smith beating him.
Like I'm talking about punting.
Liam Smith is a better boxer, though.
Yeah,
Liam Smith is a way better boxer.
Liam Smith is a better boxer.
Go ahead, Beats.
Like the pundits on Sky are talking about Liam Smith is a better technical fighter than Eubank.
He is. Beats. I saw your video on that earlier. Beats.
Liam is pure fundamentals. That's it. Just sit.
Chris Eubank sucks.
He's better than pure fundamentals.
But I do think that Eubank is going to knock him out.
Bro, can I say this? Can I say this? Too many people talking at the same time. Here's the problem. I like Liam more than Chris. I do. I think he's a ballsier fighter, but at his very best, he's a mid-range to inside guy who's aggressive. You cannot fight Chris there, bro. You got to box him. The way that George beat him was boxing him, walking him into shots, staying on the move, boxing him. Liam ain't about to go in there and fight on the outside. He gonna try to fight on the inside, and he gonna get found out. I think Chris gonna hurt him. I think Chris gonna hurt him.
I agree with you. I want Liam to win. I love Liam, but to what Beats was talking about, Liam is the better fighter overall, strategic, technical fighter. He is by far. Chris Eubank is like
he's technical. He's not
technical.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Beats.
Did you see the fight against Anthony Fowler and against the African guy? The last one against the African guy was punching holes for him, and then all of a sudden something happened to him. He just like got convulsions, and then let Liam start punching him up.
No, I saw it. But did you see Liam? Did you see Liam versus Sam Eggington? Liam versus Sam Eggington.
Liam Eggington, bro, really? Bro. Come on, man. Really, Sam Eggington, really, fam?
I know he was a fucking piece of shit, but what I'm saying is, you was able to see a superior fighter take advantage of a
and you think
fighter.
Sam Eggington would have worked for Chris Eubank? Come on, man.
Yo, Sam Eggington was a stupid motherfucker that had a little bit of an engine that tried to just go crazy and had no plan.
Listen,
that was Chris Eubank for years.
Listen, I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to save you from yourself, Ryan. I'm trying to save.
This is my last word on it, right? Chris made Liam Williams look like a plodder. And let me tell you this, Liam Williams was boxing rings around Liam Smith until the headbutts. Rings.
That's what saved him. That's what saved that fight for him. I'm just telling you, Liam is better. Liam Smith is better off fighting a pure boxer than Chris. Chris gonna give you what you want. You want to be on the inside? Okay, I got you. He got everything he needs to beat Liam Smith. I don't have a doubt in my mind.
I think he beats Liam. I think he beats Liam.
Long and mid range. Liam only has mid.
I just saying that I think that Liam Smith is a better all around fighter than Chris Eubank is skill for skill.
I'm not
talking about the physical attributes. I'm talking about just skill, boxing skill.
And I'm telling you now.
What skills? Doing what?
I see Beefy got a lot of skills. He catch and shoot. He turn on the
Beefy is just a local fucking inside fighter, bro.
Nah, he's not garbage like that.
Fundamental,
like he quality.
Fundamental, yeah, and it's a way around fundamental, bro. Athleticism.
Yeah, that's what I think.
He may not have more athleticism. You're right about that.
Eubank is more unorthodox, and he does like rely on his athleticism a lot. I think
Chris
Liam
Jones
is more fundamental.
But it's gonna work.
Exactly. I think on the inside, I think
what I'm gonna say is that Liam Smith and Liam Williams are cut from the same cookie cutter. They got the same limitations. And what he did to Liam Williams, he gonna do that same shit to Liam Smith. Gonna do that same shit. He might stop him. Because Liam didn't look too good on them scales, to be real with you. I don't like to go off how they look on the scales, but I ain't really like it. So I'm telling you, Chris gonna get him.
He's not a middleweight. That's why he's not a middleweight.
He ain't though, and I said that like he's more of a junior middleweight than a middleweight. Like you don't be up there with them people taking them punches. Fucking Chris was up there 168.
Yo, Jules, what is it that we see about Chris Eubank that makes us? We know he's not a world beater, the most amazing guy in the world, but what is
missing a gear? He's missing a gear. He's missing a gear.
Yeah, maybe he is. Not put what together. Do we see about him that makes him
physically?
Special?
I'm gonna tell you what.
What do we see about him that makes him special? That's
physically, what he is, and I say it all the time about Chris. Chris is a great physical specimen. Seldom ever hurt. Seldom ever tired. Great engine. Takes a great punch. Has good snap in his punches. You can see he has athleticism. He's a good physical specimen that is not put together. He's not a put together fighter, but he can beat Liam Smith. He can beat Liam Smith. I know that.
He can beat Liam Smith. Yeah, I believe he's going to win that fight, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as people think. I think Liam Smith is a lot more skilled than people think. There's a difference between a fighter. Hold on, Beats. Let me say this. Let me say this real quick, Beats. There's a difference between a fighter that's brought up with physical attributes and a fighter that's not. They got to learn different. And I think Liam Smith has learned the details more than a Chris Eubank has, or at least paid attention to the details more than a Chris Eubank has.
Liam Smith spends the whole fight. Liam Smith spends a whole fight trying to get mid-range. You're not going to have that problem with Chris, bro. He'll give you what you want, but you're not going to like it. And I'm telling you, I think he's going to stop him if I got to be honest. I really do think he's going to stop him. I can see that.
Yeah, he's going to punch right through that high guard.
Liam Smith, you know what I like about Liam Smith? He's the awkward, once-in-a-million kind of fighter that throws a punch in between your punches and can knock you the fuck out because you don't see the punch. You know what I mean?
If you Anthony Fowler, maybe.
Like Anthony Fowler. That is what he did.
Anthony Fowler.
Say it one more time. I'm sorry, Beats.
Yeah, you could knock out Anthony Fowler and Jesse Vargas.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying this is boxing. I mean, you have a point there. That's the level of opposition. But I'm just saying, if he throw a punch in between and it's perfectly timed, it's kind of sweet.
Chris got a chin. I hate to say it because I don't like Chris, but Chris can take a shot.
Yes, he can
take a shot. And I don't think Liam hit that fucking hard that he going to knock out Chris.
And you need legs, and you need like legs to like beat Chris. Like you got to be able to move.
Yeah, but
look at the guys. Look at the guys that beat Chris. Look at the guys that beat Chris. They're both boxers. George Groves, that's a boxer.
Yep.
Billy Joe Saunders, that's a boxer. Liam Smith is a brawler. He a brawler.
I was gonna say, isn't this the same guy who takes 2 punches to land 1? That BTC?
That's the same.
Well, not entirely.
Not
He does
really.
catch a lot of
Not
shit.
really.
He always has. He's very fundamental. Like he always has his hands glued to his face.
Julius,
he's
let
not
me tell you
James
something.
Kirkland.
Let me
He's
tell you
not
something.
James
You see
Kirkland.
these guys saying he can box? They ain't watched the
Bro, no, hold on. Listen. Boxing isn't just throwing your jab and moving your legs, bro. Boxing isn't just moving lateral. Like, look at how he throws his punches. Does he throw his punches incorrectly?
Wait, let Beats go. Let
You
Beats
guys
go.
have not watched the Anthony Fowler fight. You haven't watched it, or you wouldn't be saying he was. Listen.
Listen. They try to tell me that he gonna give Chris all these problems when Anthony Fowler was literally about to knock his ass out at the beginning of that fight.
Listen, Liam Smith.
Knock his ass out.
Hold on. Before you guys jump in, let me say something. Right? You're saying. Because to me, when you say someone's a technical fighter, that means they are assured they have ring generalship. Liam Smith was looking at the referee when my guy was punching him up because he didn't know what to do.
Exactly.
I agree with you, and you are.
And let me say, what are Anthony Fowler's limitations? No gas tank. Nowhere near as athletic.
Right.
Nowhere near as athletic as Chris Eubank Jr. He gonna look good tomorrow. He gonna look good tomorrow. And that's saying a lot because I'm not a fan of Chris Eubank Jr., but the kid is a good physical specimen. That's what he's always had. That if you could really mold him into something, he could really be something, but he not put together. For whatever reason, he never had a good corner situation. Never really had a great training.
This is going to be like the Nick Blackwell fight, but hopefully Liam don't get the ending that Blackwell got.
Yeah, let's hope not.
When I say shit like that, y'all all jump on me. You can't compare no fucking Nick Blackwell. Come on, man. When I say shit like that, y'all be flipping on me.
Listen. A lot of people were picking Blackwell to win, right?
Yeah.
Billy Joe Saunders. Let me finish. Billy Joe Saunders, Tyson Fury, and a lot of the pundits, they were walking my guy out, right, to beat up Chris at Wembley Arena. I remember it. Was it Wembley? Wherever it was on Channel 5. And Chris,
but it was a sucker vibe.
It
wasn't a real vibe.
Let me tell you this now. Blackwell is just as technical. If you guys are saying that Liam is technical, he's no more technical than Blackwell.
No, you're wrong.
Bro, Liam at his best.
Liam is a fucking world champion. Nick Blackwell,
man, y'all, bro. Tell me, what does Liam do wrong?
All right. Let me just. Listen to me. This is why I classify Liam as a brawler. No, I don't think he's doing something wrong. But when I say technical, usually I'm talking about an outside jabber, a counter puncher, not a mid-range to inside guy. And Liam spends the whole fight trying to get mid-range to inside so he can brawl. Where he can get off his body shots.
I disagree with the framing because you can be an inside fighter and be very technically skilled. I mean, Duran is the biggest example. James Toney, he was an inside fighter. You can be very skilled on the inside and technically sound. Liam Smith throws everything correctly. He doesn't move his head all the time, but he has his high guard. He always has his hands up. He never drops his hands. His footwork is not impressive, but it's effective. He can move forward.
Don't defend your point. Don't defend your point, my brother. Liam Smith is a world champion. Liam Smith was a world champion. Who the fuck is Chris Eubank?
I just want to give Liam his credit, but yeah,
I'm saying don't defend your point. You ain't got to defend yourself. Liam Smith was a world champion. Who the fuck is Chris
Wait. You saying all that so that Julio could pick the same guy as me? Saying all that so Julio, same guy.
I like Liam Smith, but he's not the right fight for him.
Not all world champions.
Who did he beat?
Hey, man, I gotta get the fuck out of here, all right?
Man, I got Liam.
Who did he